And we're just getting started.
The U.S. Soccer Podcast, presented by Henkel. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
It's the Hendrick Chevrolet Countdown to Kickoff.
10 days away.
Hendrick.
The most trusted name in automotive is right here in Columbia. Hendrick Chevrolet and Hendrick GMC. Buy now and make no payments for 3 months. Shop the nation's #1 dealer group, Hendrick Chevrolet and Hendrick GMC.
With approved credit, see dealer for details.
It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
All right, one last look at your traffic and weather for your ride in on this Wednesday morning. A couple accidents to report. One at Sunset Boulevard between I-20 and I-26. Another one at King Street and Millwood. And finally, I-20 eastbound at Broad River Road. Today, I have 89, mostly sunny. Tomorrow, a high of 88, and then 87 on Friday with a chance for some late afternoon thunderstorms. Currently 74 here in downtown Columbia on the Game.
Text 803-404-6100 on the Game Network and on 107.5, the Game app.
Tilling my own grave to keep me.
9 o'clock on your Wednesday morning. Welcome in. It is the Extra Point. Tyler Head and Jack Veltri along with you halfway through the week and the final day of our countdown to kickoff that involves double digits. 10 days until South Carolina and Kent State square off. Tomorrow we're at Firehouse Subs. Friday we're at the Game Summer Golf Classic. It's about to turn up, Jack.
I am excited for Firehouse Subs tomorrow. When's the last time we were there? It's been a little bit.
This will be the first one this year.
Yeah, dude, I'm craving a Firehouse Subs, so that'll be good tomorrow to get over there. And we're at the one on campus, right?
We're at the one on campus, 633 Main
Come
Street.
See us.
So it's a home game for all of us.
Yeah, come hang out with us. It'll be fun tomorrow.
Chris told me all the construction over there is done.
Oh, good.
Because last time they were paving and doing all that.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of parking, so I think we're good there. So, yeah, come by and see us. Be out there from 9 to noon. You get your power rankings ready, because since it has been so long since we've been at Firehouse Subs, we have to remind people what our top sandwiches are.
Ooh.
So be ready for that.
What was the name of the sandwich we tried last year? It was with that pickle. It was really hot.
Oh, it was the.
I think it was like a llimited menu item at the time.
Yeah.
But it was that. I mean, that one was really good.
Was it the hot one sandwich?
I think it was.
I think,
yeah, because it was in the pickle was in
the last dab.
Yeah,
right?
the last dab. Oh
yes.
Man, that is so good.
And I think it was Wes that couldn't believe that I didn't overreact to eating the pickle.
No, it was hot, dude.
It was spicy.
It was hot.
But I'd forgotten about that. I think that was actually the last time we were at that specific location,
too. No, you're right. I think you're right on that.
So, yeah, looking forward to that.
I try oh, my God, dude. I've been craving the gator sauce. Oh,
see?
Gosh,
dude. I get you hooked on that stuff, man.
I know. I need to pick up a bottle tomorrow when I'm there. So, Firehouse will be fun, and then Friday we got the golf tournament. We got the onion sausage. Oh man, I'm thinking about all this food right now. It's only 9 o'clock. I'm ready to go for the day.
You know, our job has a lot of cool perks to it. The food might be the best part of it.
Yeah, I would say so.
Because I feel like everywhere we go, there's some form of food. We get food in the press box.
Next week it's gonna be breakfast in the press box. So
that's right. Good. Yeah, because it's gonna be an early kick. So when they do like the shrimp and grits and stuff, that's always really good. I don't know what's gonna be on the menu this time, but I'm looking forward to that.
No, it'll be a lot of fun. But dude, 10 days away. We're 8 days away from week 1 beginning on Thursday next week.
Yep.
And what are we now? 4 days away from
three
from the start of the football season.
There are
in general.
FCS games on tomorrow night.
Oh, really? Okay.
In fact, Towson plays tomorrow night if you want to get some advanced scouting on Carolina's Week 2 opponent. So there's going to, across, ESPN Plus and stuff like that. But if you're really dying for college football, which I am, yes, I'll be watching some FCS games tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah, man. We got a full FCS slate this week, and Week 0 starting Saturday, and then Thursday, Friday, and then we get to Saturday next week. Oh, man, it's here almost.
And don't forget Sunday and Monday, too. We'll get the whole weekend.
Sunday, Monday. Yeah, yeah. But, I mean, the game on Sunday is what? It's
Ole Miss and Louisville is one.
Notre Dame, Wisconsin.
Notre Dame, Wisconsin. So you get a couple games.
Green Bay.
And then
there's one other game.
Is it Florida State
right?
SMU on Monday night?
Yeah. There's one other Sunday game, isn't there?
I think so. It might only be 2.
Let's see. I'm pretty sure there's a game on that Monday. Or, I'm sorry, on that Sunday. Like, there's 3 games, I think.
My internet is not working right now. So
hold on. Mine's working.
Okay.
All right. Oh, how could I forget? The Apple Cup, dude. Washington State at Washington, 4 p.m. on NBC.
Oh, that's on Sunday?
Yeah.
Wow,
So you got
okay.
3 games on Sunday.
Sweet.
You got Louisville, Ole Miss starting at the same time as Wisconsin, Notre Dame. Notre Dame, obviously, on NBC. ABC for Louisville, Ole Miss, and then Monday, Labor Day night, it's going to be SMU at FSU.
That's not a bad slate for the rest of the weekend there. Look forward to that.
No, man, that's 5 days of pretty good football. I mean, there's a good game on every day. I mean, Colorado, Georgia Tech's on that Thursday. That Friday, you got, not really. Well, actually, we got an ACC matchup. We got Miami at Stanford. So
yes, classic ACC matchup. Two teams.
The Friday slate's not particularly great. I will say that.
Now that you mention it, Miami and Stanford, because Miami, Florida, and Palo Alto, California might be among the longest distances between 2 conference opponents.
Oh, it's insane. That's something we'll never get over, is talking about just how widespread the ACC is for absolutely no reason.
Well, I mean, the Big Ten's that way, too.
Big Ten is that way,
Big
too.
12's about that way.
I'm kind of glad the SEC is... It's not the Southeast anymore.
They're at least in continuous states.
Yeah.
All the states
it all makes
touch each other. No state is detached from the SEC. So they've at least got that going for them. Though now, I mean, the SEC's ventured into the Southwest and Midwest. Yeah. So take that for what it's worth. Regardless, 10 days until South Carolina plays against Kent State to get their season started. Yesterday, we heard from Coach Beamer, and one thing he talked about was kind of the objectives over the course of the next 10 days as we lead up to the start of the season.
Clean up. You never feel good. There's still so much more to cover as you go into a game 1. I really like where we are right now. Offensively, defensively, special teams, the progress we made, the way things have come together. I think for me, it's more just there's still position battles and rotation battles that are going on. That's really, for me, the big emphasis this week and next week, is seeing some of those things solidify themselves as we go into game 1. I think we came out of the scrimmage last Saturday saying, okay, we could say that these are probably our top 4 wide receivers, top 3 receivers. Well, who is 4, 5, and 6, and that's a battle with a group of guys right now. Third corner still. Let's see what happens here as we go into this week and some other battles along the way. But that's the big emphasis for me, is just seeing those guys continue to take steps, offense, defense, and special teams.
So pretty standard in terms of the goals over the last couple of days of preseason camp leading up to the season, cleaning up things. He talked a little more extensively yesterday about the penalties, which, again, he said in scrimmage number 1, we're down from a year ago, which is good. And in scrimmage number 2, when they brought in SEC officials, that he basically said, hey, call everything, right? There were more procedural type of stuff. He mentioned having a couple guys on the field at one time that had multiple numbers, some procedural stuff when it came to the same number, some guys lining up maybe differently, and there's some new rules in the SEC about that this year. So nothing like egregious about, hey, we had, 8 false starts or something along those lines, which, again, the procedural stuff, numbers, those things can be cleaned up a lot easier.
Yeah, totally. And that's what you want to hear is, I think going into week 1, I was asked about this the other day by somebody. What do I want to see heading into week 1 with this team? no injuries. You want to see the offense look like an offense. I think that would give South Carolina fans, especially, a big sigh of relief that, like, okay, this is a much different offense compared to last year. Like, this one's actually going to be able to score some points and move the ball up and down the field. And the other thing is minimize the freaking penalties. I mean, it was insane last year, Tyler, how many pre-snap penalties this team had. And it's such an avoidable thing. It's literally don't jump off sides and don't move before the ball is snapped.
Especially for the center.
Yes, especially
if you're supposed to know
center.
the snap count.
Yeah, so as long as they get that stuff figured out, I think that entails for a good first game of the year. But yeah, cleaning up the penalties, it's good. We still need to see with our own eyes, because it's one thing for them to say it, because I believe it happened that the penalties were down in these scrimmages, but it's another to go out there and replicate that when you got 80,000+ people in the stands watching you.
So that's one thing. Again, everybody's looking to obviously clean up as they head into the season. Then he mentioned a position rotational battles trying to be finalized. And look, it's the same things we've been talking about ad nauseum this entire offseason. What's your starting five in the offensive line going to look like? What's your running back rotation going to look like? Because you're unlikely to play all five guys at a regular clip. You know, he mentioned as well, I don't know if it was in that clip or another clip about, hey, you know, we feel like we've kind of got our top 3 to 4-ish receivers figured out. Who are the guys behind that? You know what I mean? And we don't have a depth chart, and we're probably not going to get one until next week, and that's probably going to feature a lot of oars. But these are the positions that have still been a question the entire offseason that we're still not entirely sure of until we see it on the field. Yeah, it was interesting to hear Beamer mention that they're very close on figuring out their starting offensive line. I think they have an idea of like what their 8 to 9 deep players is going to look like in that room. It's just figuring out, okay, who starts where. And obviously, Jakari's Peak would definitely be starting week 1 if healthy right now, but he's not, working his way back, as we know. And so you have to figure out, okay, who's going to start in his spot and who is stepping up in the place of somebody that may have been starting at another spot, but they got to be in where Peak would be at the start of the year. So there's some moving pieces and figuring it out, but yeah, I think position battles. You know, the one thing, and I wanted to ask about these yesterday, but we ran out of time, was the kicker battle and where that stands, because obviously that's something that seems to still be ongoing without much resolution at this point. You know, luckily we'll hear from the coordinators today. We'll hear from Matthew Smiley, special teams coordinator, more specifically, so we'll get some clarity on that battle from his perspective, but yeah, there's still some things to figure out here over the next few days before the season starts. And, you know, when we get these opportunities to talk to coordinators and players, too, you try and ask questions in a certain way to see if you can get them to almost say something they weren't planning to say type of thing. Yeah. How can you ask Matthew Smiley, who might be leading the kicking battle, without being that blunt about it? I think you just straight up ask, how did things go on Saturday for all 3 of the kickers, right? And I think maybe you get some truth in there of, yeah, it wasn't great or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how Saturday went for these guys in terms of like specifics of like who didn't make what or whatever the case might be. But yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly. You know, I'm sure it'll come to me when we're in the press conference room today or someone else. I mean, that'll be the main thing to talk about with Smiley, I think, today, is just how's that battle going? What is the progress on it? Is it going as you thought it would? I think that's one way you kind of get an answer out there. Is that battle going the way you thought it would at this point? Yeah, again, that's kind of one of the last couple things need to be finalized heading into the year. Obviously, you can still rotate kickers in the first couple games, but ideally have that figured out by week number 3 against Mississippi State. Of course, the news of the week for South Carolina was adding an additional player to their roster, in Ethan Johnson, the player who had exhausted eligibility, but thanks to some TROs, is allowed to come back to college football after playing 4 years at Appalachian State. What do you have to say about him and the potential of adding more players to the roster? We'll dive into that coming up next. It is The Extra Point, Tyler and Jack, on your Wednesday on The Game.
The Game Network, Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
We love to hear your opinion. Go to @1075 The Game on Twitter X and participate in our polls. Our Twitter X polls sponsored by IntelliSystems. Schedule a cyber audit today at IntelliSystems.com. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
Yeah, AAA Heating and Air, home comfort is their top priority. Give them a call today at 803-677-1500 to schedule a seasonal maintenance appointment. Let AAA Heating and Air's qualified technicians put your mind at ease with a thorough inspection and cleaning of your heating and cooling system. Join their popular AAA Comfort Club to take advantage of special extras like flexible visits, added discounts, as well as priority scheduling and so much more. AAA Heating and Air also offers indoor air quality products that work with your HVAC system to improve your home's air quality. Cleaning the air eliminates common household odors, removes allergens, pollutants, and can even improve sleep and reduce the spread of some viruses. So go to callAAAtoday.com for more info. Call 3AsToday.com for more info. Tell them Jack Veltri for 107.5 The Game sent you on over.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Get this sweet deal on your new membership at the YMCA of Sumter. Visit this station's website this Friday at 9 a.m. Click on Sweet Deals and receive 50% off a 3-month membership, joining fees included. That's 50% off a 3-month membership at the Sumter YMCA on sale this Friday.
For decades, Morgan & Morgan has represented hundreds of thousands of people at their hour of need. Injuries on the job, car crashes, medical malpractice, and nursing home abuse, Social Security claims, dangerous drugs, and dangerous products. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason, and no firm is even close. Then we got to thinking, what if we could prevent these terrible events before they occurred? So we built the AI-powered People Protector. Simply visit peopleprotector.com and type in the product you have questions about before you buy it. Children's toys and accessories, cars, drugs, products, you name it, we got it. With our success, we decided to pay it forward for all of America. Our way of saying thank you for your trust all these years. Morgan & Morgan, protecting America. And if you've already been injured, just visit us at forthepeople.com.
Joe Standifer, Esquire, 11915 Plaza Drive, Suite 301, Murrells Inlet, South Carolina, 29576.
Looking for a place to catch the game or throw a great party? Westco Brew and Bowl's got you covered. It's tucked into the old Piggly Wiggly on Charleston Highway, minutes from campus. Beer garden seating for 200, 75 plus TVs, 2 bars, bowling, darts, an arcade, and wings, burgers, tacos, and pizza to go around. Birthdays, corporate get-togethers, retirement celebrations. Westco offers multiple event rooms, and you can even book the whole venue. Westco Brew and Bowl. Come as you are. Let's play. Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
The Extra Point.
And the kick is good!
With Tyler Head and Jack Veltri from Gamecock Central on the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Welcome back in. It is the Extra Point. Tyler Head, Jack Belcher with you on your Wednesday here on The Game. Closing in at the start of the season. Again, it was, I guess, not surprising because it could have happened to any school, but it was interesting news over the weekend when South Carolina announced they had added Ethan Johnson in the transfer portal, a cornerback that played his entire college career at Appalachian State, exhausted eligibility, and thanks to TROs has been allowed to come back to college football this year and is already on campus practicing with South Carolina. And Coach Beamer was asked, what exactly can you expect out of Ethan Johnson, and what kind of role can he play on this team?
We wouldn't have brought him in if we didn't feel like he had a chance to make an immediate impact, Jack, and we do. Now, it's not easy. Don't get me wrong. He hasn't played since November, December, whenever their last game was. So that was my question. It was, okay, what's he been doing since then? Like, we don't need some guy that's been, sitting at the house since January. He's got to get in shape and all that. He's been staying active and staying busy. That really helped because he has played so much football that Clayton and Torian got him, like I said, he was here on Saturday, and on Saturday afternoon after the scrimmage, Clayton and Torian were able to sit down with him and, okay, what did you guys call this in your system? Okay, we call it this. What did y'all call man free? We call it this here. What do y'all call 3-week buzz? Okay, here we call it this. And just trying to get the terminology part of it figured out. But, early signs are positive. And the thing with Ethan is he brings experience because we've got two corners in Judge and Vicari that are competing at a high level, right now, and playing at a high level, I should say. And then we've got some guys behind them that are good players but are unproven, young, whatever you want to call it. So to be able to add just an older guy in there that can help on defense, help on special teams. He may play 0 plays against Kent State. He may play 50 plays against Kent State. I don't really know. We've got to acclimate him quickly and see where he is. But the fact that he's an older guy and he's played a lot of football is an advantage for him because he understands football.
And, I think it's interesting there. He said the thing about, he may play 50 plays, may play 0. I would lean towards probably closer to 0 than 50. He'll get on the field probably in some capacity, but there is a learning curve, even for somebody that's played a lot of football, to come in and be implemented into an entirely new defense, terminology-wise and all that, in addition to just getting back into football shape. And again, it sounds like he's been doing a lot of things in this offseason to keep himself in good enough shape. But there's a difference between working out, exercising, and running drills and actually playing football that I imagine there's going to be at least a period of time he's got to get reacclimated and get back up to speed on that.
I would say so because he hasn't been going through preseason camp with the team up until now, basically when the camp part of the preseason is over, and now it's mock game week, and next week is game week itself. So there's that part of it. I probably lean towards him maybe because also, and again, he could probably pick up the playbook rather quickly, but it takes time to learn that thing and figuring that part of it out. So it's kind of catching him up to speed. And look, the first game of the year, Kent State, I've said it before with Peak and Stewart, I don't think you need those guys out there to go out there and beat Kent State. If your backups can't go out there and get the job done, then there's bigger problems, I think, out there. I think it's the same thing here, to where giving Johnson a little bit of extra time just to get acclimated to being at South Carolina and understanding the defensive scheme and the playbook and whatnot, give him a little bit more time on that crash course, I think would benefit him. And then maybe by the time week 2 gets here, you go ahead and play him. But Shane Beamer did say immediate impact with this guy.
Yeah.
Like, that is the expectation for him here at South Carolina. So that leads me to believe, I do think, part of me thinks he'll be suited up for week 1. Don't know that for sure. But I think there's a little bit of time to at least get some understanding of the defense and what's going on. It's not like they have a game on Saturday here. They still have another week and a half. So we'll see, man.
Well, when you look at, and look, we feel good about Judge Collier and Vakari Swain being your two primary starting cornerbacks, but you do have to rotate. Those guys aren't going to be on the field for every single play, but you look behind them, and Jabari Sandy, Jalewis Solomon, they've been on the roster for a couple years, but have not played a ton, right?
Cassie Barnes.
Cassie Barnes is coming in, and he's generated some buzz as maybe being that third cornerback, but he's a true freshman, right? So you just don't have a ton of experience behind your two main starters, and Ethan Johnson comes in, gives you that. And again, if God forbid Vakari or Judge end up going down with an injury and need somebody to step into that role, you have a guy with tons of experience that you're not, thrown to the wolves as a true freshman or something like that. Which again, if you have to do that, you have to do that. But you feel better having more experience and depth in that room by adding Ethan Johnson.
You do, because this is a guy with almost 40 career starts at App State. That's a lot of football right there. And so having that in the room, it's going to be critical. Part of me kind of wonders, how this is going to go down, because I don't think he starts right away, but I kind of wonder how long it is before he moves into a potential starting role on this defense. And does he automatically just go ahead and leapfrog the younger guys you just listed in that room? Because we know Vakari and Judge are going to be starting at DB at that position, but is Ethan Johnson automatically the third cornerback? I mean, look, Beamer checked with all the players to make sure they're okay with it, and they were 100% on board with it. So I think there's probably some reasonable expectation that, look, we're bringing in Johnson, and he's going to be moving up the depth chart automatically. And I think he probably warrants that because of his experience. You're not having him be a bench player to come here at South Carolina. All that experience should not go to waste. So, yeah, I'm going to be interested to see what his role is right away, because Beamers did say immediate impact. But, by middle of the year, how big of an impact will he actually end up having?
Yeah, I think that's something that's going to evolve over time as he gets more acclimated to the system and to this team. And Beamer was asked the follow-up of, hey, is there any possibility of adding anybody else? And here's what he said.
I feel like we're probably finished at this point. I mean, we're getting closer and closer to game day, and you always look at every position held and see if there's a way to make it better. There's no one that I've talked to. There's nothing imminent at this point. I told the players last week, we'll always do what's best for the team, but I don't envision a scenario as we sit here on Tuesday, but at the same time, who knows what's going to happen when I walk out of here. I feel like things are changing every 30 seconds in regards to lawsuits, statements, NCAA rules, whatever it may be.
So he didn't completely shut the door on it, and look, you still got 10 more days of practice leading up to the start of the year. Knock on wood, hope it doesn't happen. You could have a injury or a couple more injuries that are significant to where you say, hey, now suddenly we need another linebacker or something like that. And as Beamer said, hey, there's, thanks to TROs and lawsuits and all that kind of stuff, there are guys out there available if you really need somebody to add more depth to a position. So he's not completely opposed to it. I would say it's less likely, especially as we get closer to the start of the season, but he's not completely ruling it out, it doesn't sound like.
Yeah, I wonder what position they would maybe add at potentially. I got to feel like kicker's probably one, but I don't know. I mean, Beamer said he has no concerns about the kicker position, but that was last week. Again, there has not seemingly been any separation in that room. We'll learn more today, but, I mean, look, South Carolina already added a kicker after spring practice. Is there any chance they look to add another one potentially here in the days leading up? Because I think kicking, that's something like a special teams guy like that, there's no play. I mean, maybe there, I don't know. Maybe there's some certain stuff to learn, but I mean, I feel like you don't have to learn an entire offensive or defensive playbook. It's just go out there and make field goals. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I'm sure they're confident in the guys they have, but if there's any doubt, maybe there's somebody out there that they can go and bring in that has 1 year of eligibility left or something.
The one spot that stood out to me, because you did have to dismiss a running back earlier this offseason in Sam Williams-Dixon, maybe there because you only have 5. And look, we talked about that position being down a little bit numbers-wise going into the offseason when they added Jabri Wallace-Coleman and Sam Williams-Dixon. So now you've lost one of those guys. And not saying they would, but if you really felt like you wanted to have 6 just to round out the room, you could do that. I mean, I'm sure there's running back options out there with this stuff. But it's kind of the one spot that stood out to me of like, all right, you didn't have the numbers you thought you would coming into the year because you're down one guy. Maybe add somebody there, but I would say it's not super likely.
I don't think it's really necessary. I mean, at that point, are you just bringing an extra running back in just to be a depth piece on the depth chart of sitting on the bench all year? I
mean, depth never hurts.
If it's like a guy that comes from like a small program, I know there's no redshirting, but like if that's kind of the intention then there, sure. I just don't really see the need for it. Yeah, injuries happen and whatnot, and you can get thin rather quick, but I feel like you're in pretty good shape with these 5 running backs that you have. I think you're pretty good. The top 4 seem to be doing pretty good. We haven't heard a ton about Jabri Coleman, but the 4 guys that I think you're really going to see contribute this year in that room, Fuller, Howell, Augustave, and Clark, seems like they're all having pretty good preseason camps and good scrimmages at that.
So we'll see if Carolina decides to add any more. But again, Ethan Johnson, the latest addition for South Carolina over the weekend. Oh, man, we talk about this team every single day. Jack writes about them every single day. Do they pay attention to what we say and what we write? Well, Coach Beamer talked about that yesterday and used Jack as an example, funny enough. We'll get into that coming up next. It is the Extra Point, Tyler and Jack, on your Wednesday on the Game.
We have a new way for you to call the AAA Heating and Air phone lines. Just dial pound 250, and when prompted, punch in the keywords, the game. And that's it. Again, pound 250 with the keywords, the game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hostetler Brown. Now is the time to take care of your family. Have you gotten your trust set up to protect your kids? Have you funded your trust? Do you have a plan to manage care? Visit lawyerlisa.com/thegame to see how we can help.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
From the University of South Carolina to local high schools, nonprofits, and businesses across the Midlands, organizations trust School Cuts and Minuteman Press because they deliver results they can count on. For 30-plus years, School Cuts has specialized in quality screen printing and embroidery for uniforms, spirit wear, and custom apparel. Minuteman Press provides full-service printing, including business cards, brochures, booklets, banners, signs, yard signs, and promotional products. Now working together, both locations in West Columbia and downtown Columbia make it easy to get everything in one place.
Want more Gamecock athletics without the season ticket commitment? Get the Gamecock Go Pass. For just $25 a month, you can enjoy access to select Gamecock football games this season. More games, more flexibility, no long-term commitment. Get yours at GamecocksOnline.com/go.
Are you calling your IT company over and over for the same issue, getting passed around to people who can't help? Or worse, getting hacked after being told you were protected? That's not normal. At IntelliSystems, real engineers answer the phone live, resolve issues quickly, and explain things in plain English. If something feels off with your current IT provider, it probably is. Call IntelliSystems today and see what better IT support should actually feel like. IntelliSystems.com.
Protecting your family, your health, your home. I'm David Hill of True Protect Pest Services, and that's what we're all about. At True Protect, we're more than your local pest control provider. We're your neighbors, and we care. Our technicians are certified in modern, environmentally conscious treatments that work. For local, reliable pest service, call 803-400-8188. That's 400-8188. I'll actually answer the phone, and we'll get started. True Protect Pest Services, proven pest protection.
Join Lexington Health for the Tunnel to Towers Columbia 5K Run and Walk on Friday, September 4th at 7 p.m. This unforgettable patriotic event champions the heroism of our nation's first responders and service members. Then stick around for the after party featuring live music, family-friendly events, and food trucks. Walk or run to honor our heroes. To register, visit T2TRun.org. Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. It's the Hendrick Chevrolet Countdown to Kickoff.
10 days away.
Hendrick.
The most trusted name in automotive is right here in Columbia. Hendrick Chevrolet and Hendrick GMC. Buy now and make no payments for 3 months. Shop the nation's #1 dealer group. Hendrick Chevrolet and Hendrick GMC.
With approved credit, see dealer for details.
Looking for a place where your whole family can grow, get fit, and build lasting friendships? The YMCA of Sumter has something for every age and skill level. From state-of-the-art fitness equipment and group exercise to youth sports, or our premier gymnastics center, which offers competitive USAG programs, sensory-aware adaptive classes, daytime options for homeschool families, plus energetic adult gymnastics. Every participant is given a strong foundation to grow. Plus, through our Warriors to Wellness initiative, we're proud to honor those who serve. Active military members with a valid military ID pay 0 join fees, whether you're swinging on the bars, trying a new workout, or reaching your wellness goals. There's a supportive community waiting for you here. Find your strength and get started today. Visit us online at ymcasumter.org. Want to take advantage of your new membership at the YMCA of Sumter? Go to the station's website this Friday at 9 a.m., click on Sweet Deals, and get 50% off a 3-month membership. Join fees included.
The Extra Point.
And the kick is good!
With Tyler Head and Jack Beltry from Gamecock Central. On the Game Network, the 107.5, the Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Welcome back in. It is the Extra Point. Tyler and Jack on your Wednesday here on The Game. Going through everything Coach Beamer had to say yesterday in his usual Tuesday press conference. We'll get the coordinators coming up today, so we'll break down what they have to say coming up tomorrow when we're out at Firehouse Subs. But one interesting question Beamer was asked about, bulletin board material, right? What gets said, what gets talked about, what gets tweeted about that we all pay attention to these days and craft the narratives about teams in the offseason. Beamer talked about, how much do they pay attention to quote-unquote bulletin board material in the offseason, and do they use that as motivation? Here's what he had to say.
I think honestly, I feel like every team is different, and you kind of got to figure out what resonates with some players and teams and what doesn't. I think we've had some teams where I could say Jack Veltry from Gamecock Central said we were going to get beat. Look at these picks, 49-0 this week, and you'd have people coming out of the locker room ready to tear somebody's head off. And then you might have other teams that be like, and I use Jack as an example, could be anybody. But my point being, I think every team is different. Like some teams are like, all right, who cares? Some teams are like, man, and I think you just have to really understand the personality of the team that you have that year. We don't spend a whole lot of time talking about it. I mean, to me, it's kind of hypocritical if I tell the players we don't worry about the outside noise. We don't listen to the outside noise. It's always about us. But then I go, but look what they said about us. We're not going to listen to it. But so I think for us, it's really a standard that we want to compete with and perform with every single Saturday. That's what we're focused on, regardless of the opponent or what people are saying about us, good or bad. But also, I'm not dumb. I mean, players see when they leave the building here and they're on their phones all day, they see what people are saying about them on the outside in a lot of ways. So I think for me, it's more just making sure they're 18, 19, 20-year-old young men and making sure they understand that, that really doesn't matter what you're seeing on Instagram or TikTok or whatever people are saying about us. What matters is what we can control, and let's focus.
So sounds like Beamer's a fan of staff picks every single week on Gamecock Central.
I don't think I've ever had a time where I picked somebody to beat South Carolina 49-0. So I don't know. I mean, hopefully he was just misremembering something. But yeah, no, it's I'll be happy to be used as an example. So.
Well, and he brings up, again, he uses you as an example, but he brings up an interesting point, because I always roll my eyes nowadays when I hear coaches or players or anybody say, we don't pay attention to that stuff. We don't see that stuff. Of course you do. It's impossible not to see it. Yeah, 30 years ago, all you had to do was not pick up a newspaper and not turn on the radio if you didn't want to hear the criticisms or things about your specific team. Now it's impossible, right? Everybody's on social media, or everybody has people that are telling them what's being said on social media. Hey, just see what this guy tweeted about you, or to see what this one national talking head said about you and your teammates. You can't escape it now. And I appreciate that he's like, yeah, we're not dumb. Like, it's out there. These guys see it. They're 18, 19, 20 years old. They're getting on their phones after practice and reading this stuff and not pretending like, well, that stuff just doesn't infiltrate our locker room, because that's basically impossible these days.
Yeah. I mean, everyone has a phone. Everyone has Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Somebody out there is saying something, positive, negative, whatever. Somebody is out there saying something about, literally just about, it mostly goes for like the top end players or the team in general. But yeah, I mean, honestly, look, at 18 to 22 years old, it's tough to block that stuff out, right? Like, even in our profession, when like, it used to be like this for me, where somebody would say something like a not so nice comment on a live stream or on a story or whatever, and it would bother me at first. But now it's like, it's just whatever, honestly. Like, who really cares? So, I mean, I can understand these guys probably, in some cases, you know, probably look at that stuff and they're like, well, why is this being said about me? And, and it can affect them. It's natural. But I understand Beamer's standpoint on it. Like, they can only control what they can control.
And I thought he brings up an interesting point, and this is something I hadn't really thought about, but you do have to kind of figure out the identity of your team and how to use that kind of stuff, right? Because not every team is motivated in the exact same way. And unfortunately, in the era that we live in now, where there's so much transactions in the offseason and your team changes so much from year to year, what worked for a team last year may not work for a team this year in terms of saying, hey, here's what, Paul Feinbaum said about us and what our expectations are. That should fire you up, right? It may not be the same for this year's team compared to last year's team. So that's another challenge coaches have every single year now that, again, maybe doesn't get talked about as much, is figuring out what buttons to push with your team with that kind of stuff to get them motivated, to get them fired up, and to use that stuff as the proper fuel to go out there and, hey, let's go prove these guys wrong or prove this person wrong or whatever it may be. And that's something that, again, is a year-to-year challenge, I imagine.
The other thing is that makes it a bigger challenge, kind of piggybacking off of that, is that the team looks so different every single year, right? The 4-8 stuff from last year, that motivation, I don't really feel like it has the same lasting impact because so many of those guys are not on the team anymore, and so many new players were brought in to where it's like they don't understand what really happened last year. They just know that South Carolina wasn't very good last year, and they're trying to turn the page. So, yeah, I think it's a little tough to use that stuff as motivation, but I think just the motivation of it's a brand new season, it's a clean slate, I think that's probably the best motivation that you can have for this team going into the year, not just the they went 4-8. They weren't very good last year. They're not going to be good again this year. I think that only goes so far because a lot of the guys weren't around when that stuff was happening last year.
Sure, yeah. Like Jacarius Peak and Tomiwa, they had no ties to the 4-8 team. They were not a part of last year falling apart. They're aware, right? And you ask those guys about it. They know what happened last year, but, people saying, Carolina sucked last year, that doesn't have an effect on them, right? They're like, I wasn't here for that. I was on a different team playing for a different school in a different conference. That has no effect on me. So finding ways to get those guys to, I don't say buy in is the right word here, but be motivated in the same way as everybody else on the team is another challenge, right? And I think Beamer is very much a player's coach.
He is.
I feel like he probably maybe understands that better than a lot of coaches out there, just because I think he relates so well. So I don't doubt he can motivate these guys. Now, motivating and going out there and winning on the field are two different things, and they don't always correlate, but I feel like he understands how to use those things to get his team in the right headspace.
Yeah, and look at the way he defended Lenoris yesterday with the internship stuff that was being talked about all last week on social media. Like,
yep.
he made it clear, like, he'll defend his players every single time. So yeah, that's definitely a player's coach, and it's easy to understand why guys like to play for Shane Beamer, just because of the way he's always going to have their backs. And in a public setting like that yesterday, yeah, definitely I can understand why these guys really like playing for him.
Yeah, and it's a balance, right? And again, Beamer's not shy about saying that he pays attention to what's being said about his team. And there is a line of like, hey, I'm going to go out there and defend my guys. And again, the conversations around sellers nationally were just silly because it was people not understanding how class structure basically works in college. And I imagine a lot of people criticizing him didn't even go to college. So that's fine. I don't mind him going up there and defending him on that. You know, I don't maybe necessarily like when Beamer intentionally goes after some of you guys in the press conferences for an individual thing that you wrote, or you know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily go along with that, but I understand where he's coming from when he does that. But, you know, I think you have to kind of pick and choose where you go with, you know, being defensive in press conferences.
And it's not like any of these things that are being written or tweeted out or whatever are personal, right?
It's your job.
It's just the job. Now the fans, I can't speak for that because some of the fans just, you get the stupid little, every time a kicker misses a big field goal, it's like there's death threats or whatever, or somebody has a bad play, there's people calling for you to lose your job. And yeah, I mean, look, it's tough. I'm sure there's so much more negativity out there than we can even wrap our heads around. I mean, I can't even imagine what happens when somebody makes a bad play or something, or somebody makes a mistake. You get scrutinized to no end.
Especially now that you're making money.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Money's changed everything to where, yeah, it just makes it a lot more complicated, for sure.
We'll get more into what Beamer had to say coming up in hour number 2 when it comes to the changes going on in the world of college sports. But coming up next, Akron has figured out who its offensive coordinator is going to be for its first home game against Robert Morris. Is this raising suspicions? We'll discuss it on the other side. It is the Extra Point, Tyler and Jack on your Wednesday on the Game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
This is Bill Gunner with 107.5 The Game and the Game Network. If you run a diner, bakery, coffee shop, burger joint, pizza spot, or that hidden gem everybody should know about, how would you like to get the word out about your business without spending a dime? Well, we got you. All you have to do is text your name, your business, and your phone number to 803-404-6100. That's 803-404-6100. And we'll be in touch. There's no catch. Times are tough, and we're here just trying to help you get folks in the door of your business.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
The Big Ten and Southeastern Conference have officially drawn a hard line in response to mounting eligibility chaos. In a coordinated effort to combat unexpected pro athletes trying to return to college athletics, both the leagues have voted to ban professional players who have recently signed contracts in the NFL, NBA, WNBA, or G League. Seems like a good rule to me. I'm Drake Toll.
Oh, hey, Sarah. Did you hear my daughter Katie got Camper of the Week?
That's a big deal.
We got a big deal too, right, Mom?
Honey, shh.
What's that?
Okay, that Hyundai Santa Fe, I only paid.
Nice.
Deal so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days, or 1.9% APR for 72 months on the Hyundai Tucson, Tucson Plug-in Hybrid, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Offers end September 8th. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy one Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important, trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you washed that all away with Game, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. No, that's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever. Now with odor-fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
Sniff the difference. Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Extra Point with Tyler Head and Jack Veltri from Gamecock Central on the Game Network and the 107.5 The Game app.
All right, welcome back in. It is the Extra Point. Tyler and Jack wrapping up hour number 1 here on your Wednesday on the Game. Again, a reminder, tomorrow you're going to be out at Firehouse Subs, 633 Main Street, USC campus location. Come by and see us from 9 until noon. Haven't been out at Firehouse Subs in a while. Looking forward to getting out there, eating some sandwiches, and hanging out with you guys, talking some Gamecock football. One interesting story that's been followed the past couple weeks is what Akron football is doing as a promotion for the first home game. They'll play on the road in week 1 against Wake Forest, but they come home in week 2 to take on Robert Morris. Now, Akron football is a program that you probably don't think much of. They came here a couple years ago, and Carolina obliterated them pretty routinely in that game that Robbie Ashford started. So they don't get a lot of attention. Well, they got a lot of attention when they started this contest to allow one lucky season ticket holder to help script the opening drive against Robert Morris. This created a flood of people buying season tickets because they were like $75, which every season ticket you bought would be an entry. But then suspicion started to get raised when they announced their top 9, because they had a top 10, but somebody pulled out. They announced the top 9 the other week, and included in that top 9 were Big Cat from Barstool and Bordeaux, who is a college football content creator on YouTube. That was very suspicious to people. Yesterday, it was announced they had named their new offensive coordinator for the opening drive of the Robert Morris game, that being Marty Wims II, who is a Akron grad and the CFO of Stark Enterprises, which is a multi-billion-dollar real estate company in the state of Ohio. This is where people are still continuing to go, this might have been fixed the entire time.
How is it fixed?
Because you had people in your top 9 that were
Big Cat,
notable names.
Yeah, Big Cat and Bordeaux, is that his name?
Yeah, Bordeaux. And then
I understand that being fixed. But also, sorry to cut you off, Big Cat, I looked it up. Big Cat bought 8 season tickets for Akron. So it's like anything, like with the lottery system. Like, the more you buy of something, the better chance you have. I'm sure a lot of people bought 1, maybe 2 season tickets. 8 gives you a better chance, and it's all random. That said, I think there is something to the idea of look at the Twitter reactions. To, because they posted the top 9 candidates all in separate posts. Look at any of the other posts besides Bordeaux, or aside from Bordeaux and Big Cat, there were not many reactions. And then you get the Big Cat, it's like almost 1 million clicks on the post that they made about Big Cat being one of the top 9 to call plays potentially.
Well, the other people they announced, they didn't really put who they were besides their name, right? Now that we've announced this guy as the winner, Marty Wims II, it's found out that he's the chief financial officer of a multi-billion-dollar entity in the state of Ohio, which to me creates a pretty good connection for somebody that's likely donating a lot of money to the program.
not to get confused with Stark Industries.
That was the first thought for a lot of people. It was like, wait a minute.
I had to read
Marvel
that.
Universe come to life?
I had to read that real quick. I'm like, Stark Enterprises? I think it's called Stark Industries, but close enough, right?
Yes.
So, yeah. But look, Akron grad, yeah, look, he works at a big-time company, but still, I think that's better than – I think Akron could have easily gone down the route of we're just going to have Big Cat from Barstool Sports call the first drive, and that'll be it. Like, I think a lot of people would have thought it was completely rigged in that way. And honestly, it's all a publicity stunt. So why not get the most publicity you possibly can? I still think you'll get a lot of publicity with this whole thing. Like, I'll tune in to see, like, it's going to be all over Twitter, right? But I think you could have had a little bit more publicity if you have Big Cat or Bordeaux. But I'm kind of glad they didn't go down that route. I'm kind of glad they went with an actual person that went to Akron.
Well, again, I think the question just becomes the legitimacy on, was this a random draw, or was this, hey, high-level donor that, quote-unquote, entered the contest, but you kind of knew it was going to be him the whole time?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Because he cut, $1 million check or something along those lines.
I think it's definitely a mixture of both of that. It's that, but it's also probably somewhat random to a degree. I don't know. It's a good question. And they'll say it's random, but
sure, yeah. And look,
it's all coincidence at the end of the day.
We can't prove this, right? And I don't know if they made the process public on how exactly they decided on this, but I think most people were kind of almost expecting Joe Schmo, right? Like, all right, random dude somewhere in the state of Akron that bought one ticket and got selected that, works at the Goodyear factory or something along those lines. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing, I think, is what people were hoping for. So when it's a, likely well-off potential multimillionaire CFO, that's like, probably not the outcome people were hoping for.
Yeah. It'll still be cool, though.
Sure. I'm interested to see what he calls.
They're playing, Robert Morris, right?
Yep.
So, yeah. I mean, I wonder what kind of plays would be in that playbook. Hopefully it's not like he gets this guy gets to come up with the plays, and hopefully it's not, okay, here's our playbook. Pick 10 plays you want us to use.
Now, it's important to remember he is assisting Joe Moore.
Yeah.
Who's the head coach and play caller primarily. So I think it'll be more like, hey, here's a set of plays.
Yeah.
What order do you want these in? More likely than not. Maybe they'll let him throw a trick play in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
If Shane Beamer can let Elijah Campbell have a trick play, then so can Akron.
Hey, he's averaging, 29 yards per play as a play caller?
Exactly.
Beat that.
Yeah.
Hour number 2 on the way. A lot of rules coming out in college football. We'll tell you about it coming up next here in the game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
It's out right here for our friends over at Twin Peaks. Football season is basically here. And you know what that means. Twin Peaks is your ultimate lodge destination for game days, watch parties, whatever you're interested in. They have got you covered. Wall-to-wall TVs with every game and every big moment for your football season. Right alongside Twin Peaks Girls delivering the signature lodge experience. Chow down on delicious burgers, stacked high and cooked to order, smoked in-house wings, brisket, and more. And don't forget about the 29-degree draft beer served in a frosted mug to wash it all down with as well. It is the ultimate man cave sports lodge over at Twin Peaks. So this football season, whether it's Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, any day of the week football's on, get yourself down to the lodge and take in all that great action with our friends over at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Hey Gamecock fans, Tom Reek with South Carolina Lumber and Supply in Casey, South Carolina. Whether it's an accent wall or a full house remodel, we have everything you'll need. From high grade to low grade, we have 1x6 8-foot shiplap starting at $4 a board. Come check us out at 2245 Julius Felder Street in Casey, South Carolina. We're open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. Come see us. Phone number is 803-608-3097. Again, that's 803-608-3097. Go Gamecocks.
Discover the Griffin difference. Turn these scorching summer days into unforgettable memories with a beautiful custom pool from Griffin Pools and Spas. Whether it's family fun, weekend cookouts, or relaxing after a long day, your dream backyard starts with us. Stop sweating through another summer and start making a splash in your own backyard. Call Griffin Pools and Spas today and let us build the backyard you've always imagined.
Griffin Pools and Spas, we make you feel good.
Remember when businesses were local and you knew and trusted the people that worked there? I'm David Hill of True Protect Pest Services. We remember and we miss it. That's why I started True Protect. At True Protect, we're more than pest control. We're your neighbors, bringing over 50 years combined experience to everyone we serve. For local, reliable pest service, call 803-400-8188. That's 400-8188. I'll actually answer the phone, and we'll get started. True Protect Pest Services, proven pest protection.
Looking for a truck dealership that treats you like family? Come to Herndon Chevrolet, your truck headquarters, proudly serving Lexington and the Midlands for over 50 years. Whether you're after a brand new Silverado, a tough pre-owned truck, or expert service, you'll find it all right here with a huge selection and the best truck deals around. There's no better place to shop. Visit HerndonChevy.com or stop by today.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile, smile.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to $700 on Tempur-Pedic, plus get a $300 instant gift. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
From the people who brought you It's the Dog Park comes.
Is that a new bump on your dog's neck? Or is that bump just a part of his neck? Could be a bug bite or something way worse.
Protect your dog from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance.
Wait, there's another bump right by the first bump.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms.
Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station.
Oh, yeah.
The Extra Point with Tyler Head.
And the kick is good.
Call or text 803-404-6100 on the Game Network.
Welcome back in, hour number 2. It is the Extra Point. Tyler and Jack with you here on your Wednesday on the Game. My goodness, we are so close to actual football being played when we can finally, hopefully, stop talking about things happening off the field, in courtrooms, with TROs and judges and all that kind of stuff. But for the time being, it is news, and we do have to talk about it because right now we're in the midst of this battle between players trying to return from NFL rosters to college football and conferences not wanting to let them do that, and coaches like Lane Kiffin trying to stand their ground on being able to welcome those guys back like Daquan Wright and Xavier Harris over the past couple of days. Coach Beamer yesterday in his press conference was asked specifically about adding NFL guys to college rosters. Here's his thoughts.
Yeah, I think that's a tough situation when you've got a guy that's been on an NFL team and then comes back and is playing college football after he's been playing professionally. I don't think that that's a road that anyone wants to go down. We're taking the guidance of the SEC, the presidents, the athletic directors, certainly taking their guidance, and I see what's going on out there. I also realize, Jordan, at this point it's a one-time situation about guys that have a fifth year in college that didn't use it. So I don't envision this being a thing next year. We're signing people off the Jaguars in August. This is a one-time thing, but in this one, it's always, doing what's best for the football program as we follow the guidance of the leadership that we have in this league and at this university.
So every coach that I've heard be asked about this in the past couple of days is given some kind of similar stance, like, hey, it's ridiculous that guys are able to go from, being on an NFL roster in the preseason to coming back to college football. Every coach, with the exception of Lane Kiffin, though, he's obviously in a bit of a different position because he's the coach trying to accept these guys back onto his roster. But this is one thing. We're so divided as just a country in general at all times. Rarely does everybody agree on something, and we're all in unison here agreeing like, yeah, if you were on an NFL roster in some capacity, you shouldn't be coming back to college football.
You shouldn't. And this goes for all sports. Like, I get so sick and tired of seeing this stuff happen with the NBA. Like, yeah, I know these guys didn't play in an NBA game that are coming back to college and whatnot, like Charles Bediako and all these other guys, but they're still under professional contracts. They're two-way guys playing for G League teams. I'm sorry you weren't good enough to make it to the NBA. Like, you should not be coming back to college. And I think it's way different in the NBA because it's like you're taking a roster spot potentially away from another guy when there's only 15 roster spots in general. Football, it's a little different because there's over 100 guys on a team, but still, it's just ridiculous that we're even talking about this. I get it's only a one-year thing, so you got to keep that perspective in mind. But hey, what's to stop this from happening in the future again? Like, just this situation, I would have never anticipated this situation ever arising. If you told me 10 years ago this would happen in 2026, I wouldn't have believed you. But here we are. So this is far from the craziest thing we've seen happen.
So earlier on this week, the SEC put out a strongly worded letter where they're discouraging teams from doing this. And then they said, this is further proof we need to, push forward the Protect College Sports Act and all that kind of stuff. Basically, a nothing burger of a statement that had no repercussions to it. The Big Ten took it a step further, and they, even though they're not dealing with any schools in their conference, I believe, doing this kind of thing, said, yeah, if you accept an NFL player onto your roster, your head coach is going to be suspended for half the season, and we're going to fine you an undisclosed amount of money. Just quite frankly putting their foot down, and quite frankly, Jack, making the SEC look weak and look like a punk in the process.
And I think it's the right idea. Like, I think that's a very harsh penalty. Suspended half the season. That's definitely not holding anything back. And I think it's good at the Big Ten because you're right. I don't think we've seen any guys commit to Big Ten schools from the NFL yet, and hopefully no one does at this point now. So, yeah, laying down the law and getting ahead of this, I think that's good. And then obviously last night, the SEC follows suit with a list of their rules for what they're going to be enforcing this season.
And I'm glad they finally did come to some kind of conclusion. But the fact that a conference that wasn't even embroiled in this had a more definitive punishment and statement than you did before you did, I think, again, makes you look weak, right? And look, the SEC right now is fighting an uphill battle in terms of its comparison to the Big Ten. A lot of that doing with what's happening on the field. But the fact they beat you to the punch when it came to just enforcing this kind of rule, I think is another bad look for the conference.
And the fact that this rule just wasn't enforced until now, after all this has happened, so my question now is, what happens to all these guys that are trying to come back? I guess, with the LSU situation, with Daquan Wright and Xavier Harris, what happens with those guys? What happens with, I think Ethan Johnson is fine.
Because he was never on an NFL roster.
Because he was never on an NFL roster. But what happens with these guys that were on NFL rosters? Is it just as simple as, okay, sorry, you're actually not coming to school now?
Well, the lawsuits have not ended. I can tell you that much.
Oh, I know. That's where this is heading.
It is.
More lawsuits, more problems. It's the never-ending cycle. And I'm glad to see something has happened, but there's never really an end. It's infinite.
Yeah.
It goes on without any end ever in sight because it's never good enough for one party. There's no benefit for both parties in this scenario, right? The players want to come back, but everyone knows that it should not happen, but yet you got these players out here that are trying to come back still. It's a mess.
And I'll restate what I said the other day. And look, Lane Kiffin is such a divisive figure, and it's like, well, of course he's the one that's doing this. I didn't blame him for trying to do this before there was a rule because, as he said the other day, hey, if these guys are available to come back to college football and I don't go after them, somebody else is. And again, he had the connection of coaching both those guys when they were at Ole Miss, so that made that, process probably a little bit easier for him. Now there's a rule in place. Now, and the SEC put out the statement last night that said, they met with presidents, chancellors, and ADs to come up with the following policy that, they'll not permitted to have any athletes that had declared for the NFL, NBA, or WNBA draft and did not appropriately withdraw, signed a contract in those leagues, or been listed on any of those rosters, including the NBA G League. It says the commissioner is authorized to enforce this expectation with penalties against member institutions. Details later came out that the penalties are believed to involve suspension from competition, as well as potential fines and game forfeitures. That's per Pete Nakos and Andy Staples of On3. Now there's a rule in place. Now Lane Kiffin, hey, the league is telling you can't do this. If you further continue to go down this path of trying to make this happen, then we're having a different conversation. Beforehand, I get it. You're trying to gain an edge. There's no rule against it. Fine. Now there's a rule against it. Now it's time to fall back in line.
Yeah. So I'm glad. It's just, it would have been so weird, man, to see guys that were like Daquan Wright literally was suited up during pregame warm-ups with the Browns on Saturday. And then he's coming back to college and clears waivers. It's nuts, man. This stuff does not need to happen. And I'm glad, even though it took a little bit of time, I'm glad to see the SEC putting its foot down. Like, hey, like this is not, it's not okay. Because it should not be a thing that happens. It was ridiculous last year when Charles Bediako was playing games for Alabama after being a G League player and, being on, a part of NBA organizations and then coming back to play in college. It was ridiculous now, and it is even more ridiculous now with these NFL guys coming back. So the SEC and the Big Ten have their statements and their punishments out there. Notre Dame also announced they were going to be in agreement with that. We haven't gotten anything official from the Big 12 and the ACC yet, though that is expected likely sometime today. It's also worth noting, by the way, that in the SEC, the meetings with the ADs, the athletic directors, chancellors, and presidents was a unanimous vote, 16-0. So that even includes the ADs, presidents, and chancellor at LSU also voted in favor of this rule while their own coach and team is trying to make this thing happen. It's so – does that not sum up college football right there, right now, with the landscape of it? You got ADs and presidents on one side, and then you got – it's like, is there no organization at LSU? I think the answer is it's dysfunctional, to say the least. But, yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. And even with the basketball program at LSU, I mean, you got R.J. Luis that is, I don't even know if he's going to be able to come back now, right? Per the rules from the SEC, should not be able to. But, yeah, it's going to be lawsuit central coming up here soon. I did have this thought because, again, nothing officials come out from the Big 12 and the ACC, which are, looked at as the two conferences, a bit of a step back behind the SEC and the Big Ten. What if they embrace this? What if Brett Yormark was like, you know what? The SEC and Big Ten won't have you. We will. Bring in all the former NFL players we can. We're going to try and make this conference as good as we possibly can by exploring this rule. It's not going to happen, but it is a funny thought. It would be a really bad look. Maybe they'd be like, you know what? Come here. We'll take you. It would be a really bad look if that's the case. It's just... it should not happen. It should be any conference should not be able to take back these guys. Like you had your chance. And here's the bigger problem with all of this that I think it could have avoided this whole ginormous issue with these pro players coming back to college. If the NCAA or somebody had just come out and said before the NFL draft, for instance, like in February or March, hey, we're going to give all these guys an extra year of eligibility. The class of 22 guys, I know you just finished up your college careers, but you guys are welcome to come back too if you want. Or you can go to the NFL draft or whatever and pursue that. But once you decide you're going to the draft, you can't come back to college. That would have been very easy, right? But now we're in this whole mess of guys that are in the league, they're not doing well, they're not going to make the cut probably. Oh, I'm just going to come back to college and make more money. It'll be that simple. I'm glad these conferences are starting to lay their foot down when this really could have been avoided months ago.
Elwood chimes in on the text line 803-446-100. Says, I disagree about the optics for the Big Ten implementing the rule first. If they don't have any player from the NFL looking at their school, it's easy for them to make the rule. I agree it puts pressure on the SEC, but most people heard the statement from the SEC anyway first. I appreciate the text in there. I think the fact that the SEC put out a statement without having anything definitive in it, then the Big Ten comes out with the rule, is kind of where the optics look bad here, because it makes it look like, all right, the SEC sends out a strongly worded email, and then the Big Ten basically one-ups you with a more direct enforcing rule before the SEC gets there, right? And I get it. They still had to meet with presidents and chancellors and ADs and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, maybe it took them a day or two to get all that, coordinated for the Zoom call or whatever it was. But I think the fact that you have this letter to the conference, hey, please don't do this. Also, we need the College Sports Act to pass. And then the Big Ten follows that up. I think that's where the optics kind of come from here, because it looks like they basically one-upped you after your first public statement about it.
Yeah, it's just a mess, and I don't know. It's good. It's good to see that these it's easy for the Big Ten to go out here and do their thing and put out these rules when they're not dealing with the same problems as the SEC right now. But I don't think it's a big deal that one conference put out something before the other.
And I feel like with the SEC actively dealing with it, that should have created a better sense of urgency to get a rule done first, because it's actually happening to you. Like the Big Ten is being proactive to prevent it from happening there, but they weren't actively dealing with it. You were.
Yeah, I think urgency is the right word. Like when rumors of this stuff first started coming up, and I'm sure there were conversations about it, but getting something done before it kind of got to this point, like rules should have been set in place days before, like by Saturday, when the rumor mill is out there that Daquan Wright is looking to come back to college, something should have been set then and there so you avoid the headache of, oh, this kid, like what you're in now, of, oh, this kid is coming back to LSU, but it was before the fact of what the SEC's rules were that are now in place.
Well, again, this isn't over. There's going to be more lawsuits and all that kind of stuff coming in the wake of this, so we'll see what happens there. And, my God, we just need football to start happening. And
please.
Thankfully, Week 0 is only 3 days away. I attempted to carve out every team's record in the SEC, and I think I created a pretty interesting chaos scenario for the SEC this upcoming season. I'll tell you about it coming up next. It is The Extra Point. Tyler and Jack along with you here on your Wednesday on The Game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach. It's 2026 SEC Media Days.
And The Game was there all week.
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think if you look across college football specifically, but college athletics, the best teams, in my opinion, year in, year out, are the oldest teams.
On the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at The Game TV radio on YouTube.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
All right, everybody, let's tell you about our friends over at Krantz Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. As always, the presenting sponsor of the Garnet Trust Hour on Tuesdays and Thursdays here on The Game. Krantz Cooling and Heating has been providing great HVAC services to Midlands residents and businesses since 1983. And now that same great service that you're accustomed to for your heating and your air conditioning now applies to the plumbing line. You can hit them up at 803-672-3224. You can also go to their website at krantzcooling.com. That's Krantz, cooling with a K.com. You can text them directly from their website. Let them know about what HVAC issues you're seeing at your home or business, what plumbing problems you're having. They'll schedule an appointment, come out, take care of it. Shout out to Justin Krantz, the general manager there. They do an incredible job. They've been out to my home in Wes's. Let them come out to yours. KrantzCooling.com.
Don't miss out on this sweet deal from Dave's Hot Chicken in Columbia and Sumter. Beginning this Friday at 9 a.m., head to 1075thegame.com and click on Sweet Deals to get a $50 gift certificate to Dave's Hot Chicken for just $25.
When you're injured in South Carolina, let me tell you what you deserve. An ally who understands your values, who speaks your language, and is invested in your future. The Jeffcoat firm is a team of proven attorneys from right here. We know South Carolina, we know the law, and we know how to get results. When you're injured in our state, call us because you deserve better.
Responsible attorney is Michael Jeffcoat, 1333 Main Street, Columbia.
Protecting your family, your health, your home. I'm David Hill of True Protect Pest Services, and that's what we're all about. At True Protect, we're more than your local pest control provider. We're your neighbors, and we care. Our technicians are certified in modern, environmentally conscious treatments that work. For local, reliable pest service, call 803-400-8188. That's 400-8188. I'll actually answer the phone, and we'll get started. True Protect Pest Services, proven pest protection.
Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass, shepherdsglass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
There's nothing like a Saturday at Williams-Brice Stadium. The roar of the crowd, towels waving, the lights flashing after a Carolina touchdown. You just can't experience it staying at home. So catch a game and join us at Williams-Brice this season. Single game tickets are on sale now with special discounts available for first responders, teachers, military members, and more. Visit GamecocksOnline.com/FB2026 to learn more. That's GamecocksOnline.com/FB2026.
The Haven Harley-Davidson is turning up the heat. Bike night on Friday, August 28th from 5 to 8 with live music and food. Cooler days ahead on Saturday, noon to 3. Register to win an outdoor bundle with a cooler and folding chair. Harley's Angels will be serving free soda and water. Plus, get $1,000 customer cash on select 2026 Lowrider S and Lowrider ST models. Take a test ride and get a free limited edition flag. Discover more at 866-768-5095 or thehavenharley.com.
Stressed about visualizing your home remodel? You're not alone. Planning a new space shouldn't feel like a guessing game. At CHW Cabinetry, we've taken custom design to a whole new level. Our ultra photorealistic renderings leave nothing to the imagination, giving you total peace of mind before construction even starts. Plus, we equip your contractors with a complete job site book packed with detailed drawings and exact specifications, ensuring a smooth, hassle-free installation. Take the guesswork out of your dream home. Visit chwcabinetry.com today and see your vision come to life.
Oh, yeah. The Extra Point with Tyler Head.
And the kick is good.
Call or text 803-404-6100 on the Game Network.
All right, welcome back in. Extra Point. Tyler Head, Jack Felcher with you here on your Wednesday on the Game. Friday, it's the Game Summer Golf Classic at Charwood, presented by White Round Smiles and co-hosted by the Lexington County Gamecock Club. Can't wait to see all of you out there. We've actually added one more foursome you can reserve today at 803-755-2000. Hit prompt number 2 to sign up. And again, we look forward to seeing all of you out there Friday for the Game's Summer Golf Classic. Jack, yesterday we talked about South Carolina's record. I gave my record prediction. I think they're going to go 8-4 this year on the heels of what Josh Payton had to say about them going 7-5 on a show the other day. So I thought yesterday afternoon, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go through the entire SEC, and I'm going to see if I can create records for every single team in this conference. So if you're watching on the live stream, I went and printed off a helmet schedule, which has a breakdown week to week of every single game in the conference. And I didn't go into this trying to create a specific record for anybody, except for South Carolina, because, again, I already said they were going to go 8-4. Everybody else, I went through every single week and just rapid fire. Do I think this team can beat that team, or is this team going to lose to that team? And I marked a W or an L on everybody. I wasn't tracking records or anything like that. I wanted to see what my ultimate results would come up with. And, Jack, I created, I think, what is a pretty chaotic scenario, because I ended up having 7 teams going 10-2 in the SEC.
So, want to run through them and let me know who they are?
Yes. Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Texas, and Texas A&M, all going 10-2. Now, the interesting thing here is it's a possibility this could happen, right? And especially with the extra conference game, you know, okay, well, more teams going to lose games, but statistically speaking, there's still a chance you could still have 7 teams going 10-2 in this conference this year. Hard to accomplish, obviously, but not impossible.
No, definitely not impossible. Is there anyone going? There's no one going undefeated, obviously, right?
No, that was my one caveat, because I've said I don't think anybody escapes the SEC unscathed this year. Much like last year, everybody's going to have at least one loss, and lo and behold, everybody ended up having at least 2 losses when I went through this. But 7 teams going 10-2 in the conference.
Anyone going 11-1 or no?
So Texas is the only team I have with 1 conference loss.
Okay.
I have them losing to Ohio State in week number 2.
Okay, that makes
and then
sense.
their only in-season loss to the SEC is on the road at LSU.
Okay.
Late in the season.
All right. So what else do you got in the conference?
So let's see here. Again, those teams going 10-2. Again, South Carolina's at 8-4. I have Florida at 7-5. I have Vanderbilt taking a step back to 5-7. Missouri, Mississippi State both going 4-8. Again, I'm high in Kentucky. I have them going 6-6. Lowly Arkansas, unfortunately, is going to go 2-10. Tennessee at 6-6. Auburn at 3-9. And I think that's everybody. But and again, am I going to be right about all this? No. But in just kind of my rapid-fire thoughts of what I think of these teams, the fact that you could come up with 7 with the exact same record at the top of the conference is wild, and it would create, let's face it, a pretty chaotic scenario for the College Football Playoff Committee, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you'd be leaving some teams out potentially, I think, because I don't think everyone from the SEC gets in at that point, right?
So let's think about this. You have 5 guaranteed spots for conference champions, the 4 Power Fours, and the 1 G5 champion. So that's
one's going to come from the SEC automatically.
One would come from the SEC. So let's say that's Texas because they have the best record in the conference because they would only have 1 conference loss. You then have 6 other teams sitting at 10-2. Well, you have 7 spots left at that point to make the 12-team playoff. If Notre Dame is ranked inside the top 12, they're guaranteed in, and they got a very good shot of being that. So let's take that one off the board. Now you suddenly have 6 spots remaining. So, okay, 6 spots remaining, 6 teams in the SEC with similar records. Okay, probably not that easy, though, because, I don't know, it's a very realistic possibility. You could have an undefeated or 1-loss team that didn't win the Big Ten championship also in that mix. So you're probably talking about, at that point, leaving out maybe 1 to 2 10-2 teams in the SEC if it came down to that.
Potentially. I think the Big Ten's probably going to get in. Bare minimum 2 teams. I think the ceiling is like 4 teams that get in. But I'm going to go 3. So let's say the Big Ten gets 2 at-large bids because they have a team that went, 11-1 and didn't win the conference or they have like 1 to 2 losses and they didn't win the conference championship, and then you have another team that went 10-2. Well, then you have 4 spots left.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame's going to fill one of them probably as an at-large. Then you have 3 spots left. I mean, not everyone in the SEC is getting in at that point. And I love the conversation that has been out there of could this be a year where a 9-3 SEC team gets in? Well, in this scenario, Tyler, that you've created, that's not going to happen, right? A 9-3 SEC team will not be getting in at that point. You're going to be leaving some 10-2 SEC teams out. And we saw this last year. Vanderbilt got left out when they went 10-2. So, I mean, yeah, there's definitely a scenario there where not everyone from the SEC that went 10-2 gets in. I mean, you also have to factor in. So the Big 12, ACC are both guaranteed to get a team in as long as they're of the 5 highest.
It doesn't even have to be highest ranked anymore. They're guaranteed a spot anyway.
Okay.
That's the change for this year, no matter where they're at. Because, again, by the new rule, Duke would have gotten in last year in the ACC.
Yeah, no, you're right. I forgot about that change. But still, what's to say the Big 12 or the ACC doesn't have one more team in them to get in that large bid potentially? Like, let's say there's, from both those conferences, there's just one more team that gets in as an at-large. Okay, well, now you have 3 spots left. Is that going to guarantee the SEC gets all of them? Potentially. I would think the SEC's got a chance to get 4 teams in. I think they'll end up having a good bid in, but I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough.
The tricky thing about this too, and again, the likelihood of this happening is on the low end, but it is possible, technically speaking, because of how I drew this up yesterday. I have all of the good teams beating each other too, so it's not like I'm saying, okay, well, Ole Miss is gonna go and lose to Vanderbilt and Missouri, and that's 2 of their losses. No, I have them losing to Texas, and I have them losing to Oklahoma. Georgia, I have losing to Oklahoma and Ole Miss. Let's see. Texas A&M, I have losing to Alabama and Texas, right? So it's like this circle of them just consuming each other. So I don't even know how that would shake out as far as rankings, who you put over the other. I don't even know who the second team in the SEC championship game would be after Texas, because it is all just this eating of itself, basically.
And I think from the SEC, you have to envision both teams that are in the conference championship are going to get in.
Yes.
So there's 2 automatically, and then it's just figuring out from there, okay, who else gets in? So, yeah, it's going to be a tough decision if it ends up. That would be ultimate chaos right there. If you get 7 10-2 teams in the mix for the college football playoff from this conference, that would create a lot of controversy, especially if things go the way they probably will, where the Big Ten's going to have a good year again, and a lot of those top-end teams are in the mix, and then the other power conferences like the ACC and Big 12, how many teams are they going to get in?
I'll keep hold of this thing throughout the season, and I'll see if I can figure out how right or wrong I am by the end of the year. But just know there's a possibility that 7 teams could tie with the exact same record in the SEC by season's end, and good luck, committee, figuring that one out.
Yeah. How long did that take you to figure out yesterday?
Not long, because, again, it has it broke down by week, and I just rapid fire went, all right, Alabama, East Carolina, Arkansas, North Alabama, blah, 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 down on the line, win-loss, 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 and then just counted up basically the number of losses for every team to give them their record. So it didn't take too long. You can do it yourself if you want to.
Yeah.
But it's different. It's interesting to look at how everything breaks down week by week when you look at a helmet schedule.
I'm interested to see if it comes true.
We'll see. We'll chart that as the season goes along. Deshaun Watson has apologized to Browns fans, probably too little too late. We'll get to that coming up next. It is the Extra Point, Tyler and Jack, on your Wednesday on the Game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
The Game phone lines at 803-404-6100. Sponsored by AAA Heating and Air. Now offering 12-month payment plans on all HVAC or electrical repairs with no credit check. Online at callAAAtoday.com.
No one likes to talk about the injuries, pain, disability, and lost loved ones that result from terrible car and tractor-trailer accidents. I'm Jason Reynolds. At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we're honored to be the lawyers our clients rely on during their toughest moments.
And I'm Stephen Samuels. When a work injury disrupts your life, I work hard to get you the medical treatment and workers' compensation you depend on.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
Hey, this is Ray and Nathan with Pope Davis Tire Automotive.
Maybe it's 250 degrees right now in honor of America's 250th birthday.
So, come to Pope Davis for our All-American Star Spangled, Red, White, and Blue, Freedom Eagle AC Special.
$50 off charging your AC or $200 off if you need your compressor replaced.
That's really giving ice cold.
This offer only good while it's still really freaking hot outside or until August 31st.
Bet.
Visit us online at popedavistire.com.
Hey, Mom and Dad, you know what back to school really means. It means rides. Rides to school, rides to practice, rides to meet other rides, rides to everywhere. This year, make all those rides comfortable, safe, and affordable with a new Honda from Honda of Columbia. School, soccer, football, dance, wherever you're headed. Ride in style and comfort with amazing technology, leading-edge safety, great gas mileage, and room for everything. Enjoy a no-hassle pricing and no-pressure buying experience at Honda of Columbia. Highway 378 at I-20.
Hey, y'all. Jay Phillips here from my good friends at Dan's Van City in Harbison. Ceiling fans don't sound like something you think about a lot because you don't really need to, but when you've got good ones, they work so well, keeping energy costs down and your comfort level up. All kinds of fans at Dan's Fan City, big to small and quiet, quality fans. They have accessories and light kits, fan blades, and more. Stop by and see them soon, Harbison Boulevard next to Total Wine, or call Dan's Fan City, 781-FANS. You'll be glad you did.
Visit the go-to spot for dining in downtown Columbia. Step into the Golden Spur, the official restaurant of the University of South Carolina. From bold, crave-worthy lunches to elevated dinners, plus handcrafted cocktails that hit every time. The Golden Spur brings the flavor every visit. Planning something special? From celebrations to business gatherings, their private dining and event spaces set the perfect scene. The Golden Spur, where campus meets community. Located at 700 Lincoln Street, right across from Colonial Life Arena. Come see what everyone's talking about.
As we guys get older, things start to change, and not for the better. You know, whether it's rest, whether it's memory, strength, recovery, there's a lack of oomph in your life. You need answers. You could get them from the Men's Clinic of South Carolina. Call 803-875-MENS. Set a free consultation up with Dr. Dan and the staff. They'll do a testosterone test on you and put together a program to get you feeling like you again. Again, call the Men's Clinic of South Carolina, 803-875-MENS.
If you've ever been to a Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union, you know there's something different about the people who work there. They're the type of people who mail a wallet they found on the street back to the owner, who always share their fries, who say bless you when you sneeze, even if it's like 5 sneezes in a row, who get just as excited when something good happens to you as if it happened to them. You know what? Maybe you should just stop by sometime and see for yourself. Palmetto Citizens. Feel the love. Federally insured by NCUA.
Don't miss out on this sweet deal from Dave's Hot Chicken in Columbia and Sumter. Beginning this Friday at 9 a.m., head to 1075thegame.com and click on Sweet Deals to get a $50 gift certificate to Dave's Hot Chicken for just $25.
The U.S. Soccer Podcast. These players are battered and exhausted, but you don't hurt like this if you don't care about this team, about this country, about this game.
I think you can feel the intensity. The goals, the energy, the wow, look at us.
Here in the U.S., I have got some news for you. There's so much more to come. My name is Megan Klingberg, and we're just getting started. The U.S. Soccer Podcast, presented by Henkel. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Oh, yeah. The Extra Point with Tyler Head.
And the kick is good.
Call or text 803-404-6100 on the Game Network.
Welcome back in. It is the Extra Point. Tyler and Jack on your Wednesday here on the Game. Getting close to the start of football season, and, well, if you're a Browns fan, you're probably, once again, not looking forward to whatever this season is going to have in store for you because, well, it's just been a sad existence for the Browns fans for a long time and not looking any brighter right now, especially when you talk about their quarterback situation revolving around Deshaun Watson, who was named the starting quarterback for week number 1, coming off of a bad performance in their preseason game over the weekend against the Bills. And it was not helped in the fact that he immediately went after the fans after the game for them booing him during the game. And he said, hey, this has nothing to do with play on the field. It's something personal, and I don't like that. Of course, got a lot of blowback for that, rightfully so. And yesterday, he did finally apologize to Browns Nation.
First off, I want to address the comments from Saturday after the game. You know, I think just, you know, human nature, just myself being very emotional, putting a lot of time these last 2 years to, you know, get back and, you know, spend time in this facility, in the city, meeting a lot of different people in the community. You know, I thought I was going to get, you know, a little different response, but, you know, I think, you know, my emotions got the best of me, and, you know, my comments wasn't intending to go at any of the fans around in the city, because there's been a lot of great fans that have been supporting me, and I know the frustration this organization have put, you know, a lot of investment in coming, you know, to get me back in 22, and things haven't been going the right direction that we.
It's a really good PR statement somebody, you know, typed up for him to say there, but Jack, this relationship is done. There is no repairing this rift between the Browns fans and Deshaun Watson at this point.
Well, yeah, I agree. If he doesn't play well this season, and he has shown no reason that he will be playing good this season, then yeah, this relationship's done. However, I do think if he does end up having a good season, I think that can change a lot. Not everyone will forget all this stuff, but I think it's a lot easier to manage if he's going out there and playing well. So it's not, we can't entirely rule it out that Deshaun Watson goes out here and actually has a good season. And look, I mean, maybe the first 2 games being on the road, they're at the Jags week 1, week 2, they're in Tampa to play the Bucs before coming back home. We talked about the other day, Tyler, when it was announced that Watson would be QB1 for the Browns. That should be more than enough time to figure out what it's going to be like for Deshaun when the season begins. Like, can he handle? Can he look good when the season begins? And if not, when you go back to Cleveland for week 3 for your home opener, if Deshaun's not playing well, turn the keys over to Shedeur Sanders and avoid any catastrophe of. I mean, Deshaun's going to get booed either way. I mean, it's not like he's going to get cut from the roster if he doesn't play well.
Sure.
First 2 games of the year, like, he'll still be there in Cleveland, but I think it's a lot easier for the Browns to make the move heading into week 3 if Deshaun's not playing well.
And you bring up an interesting point, because while nobody's expecting Deshaun Watson to suddenly turn it around and start playing like the Houston Texans version of himself again, if he somehow flipped that switch back and the Browns went, 13-4, won the AFC North and made the playoffs, then by the end of the season, people are going to be chanting MVP, 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 because as sports fans, we're willing to forgive anything. Right? Like, we're willing to overlook anything that goes on off the field if you're a good enough player. I mean, let's look at some examples in Baltimore, right? Ray Lewis was involved in some kind of incident that involved the death of a couple of people. Now, again, was he pulling the trigger and stuff? We don't know. He didn't give too many details on that, but he had something to do with it. But he was an amazing player for the Ravens, and all that kind of got forgotten about as time went on. Ray Rice, obviously, we know the situation with him, and at the time his fiance in the elevator, and prior to that video coming out, there were people that were defending, hey, no reason Ray Rice shouldn't still be playing football. Of course, he ended up getting suspended from the NFL after that and hasn't played since. If you're a good enough player, people are willing to overlook just about anything. But when you're a player that is eating up a lot of money, sucking on the field, and you have off the field stuff too, yeah, your fan base is going to turn against you.
No, totally. And I can't blame Browns fans for feeling the way they do. I feel sorry for them. Like, it's bad. It's bad. The optics of this are not good for the Browns either way. I feel like they would have probably been better off just naming Shedeur the starting quarterback. But from their standpoint, it's like, especially for ownership and the GM and whatnot, it's like you're paying this guy $40 million to potentially ride the bench. I don't think so. You got to play. From their standpoint, it's probably like, we got to play the guy that we're paying the most money to see what he can do. And look, you give him a little bit of runway. If he does not do well at the start of the year, okay, bench him. At least you tried it out at the start of the year with him starting at quarterback. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. At some point, I feel like the Browns, if he's not playing well, I feel like they're going to have to just cut their losses here and move on from him. And granted, he only has, I think, this year and then next year remaining on his contract, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe this is last year. Let me pull it up. But either way, I understand their standpoint on wanting to start him, though I disagree with it because I don't think it's the right reason to start him. You should be playing the best player, and obviously Deshaun is not giving you much reason with his performance to be starting him.
Yeah, and when you look at the Browns' schedule, again, they start on the road in week number 1 against the Jaguars, week number 2 on the road against the Bucs. Week 3, they come home to take on the Panthers, and there's a very realistic chance that they're 0-2 at that point in time. And if Deshaun Watson is not playing well, if he is still your starting quarterback by that point in time, I think you're going to have a full-on fan revolt, right? I don't know, maybe Shedeur is your week 3 starter if things aren't going well for Deshaun, but you're not going to have a very happy fan base in that stadium if Deshaun is still starting and you're not off to a good start.
Okay, and he's going to be an unrestricted free agent in 2027. So next year he'll be a free agent. So, yeah, I mean, it's – and look, it's actually ironic. I think even if Deshaun plays bad, I think he could still help the Browns in some way to get the first pick next year. Like, play bad enough all season to where that's his gift to Browns fans is a terrible season, but it ends up leading to having the first pick. And look, I think it's no secret. I think the Browns are going to be looking for a quarterback next season. I don't think Shador is the answer long term. 5th round pick. He's probably going to be bouncing around from team to team as a backup here eventually. I just don't think he's very good. Deshaun, I don't know what happens with him after this season. Like, if he plays well, I'm interested to see what the Browns do, but more likely than not, based off his performances this preseason, it's not looking too good for him. So I think the Browns are going to be in a situation where somebody else is running the show at quarterback next year.
Honestly, if you're Deshaun Watson, you could just retire. I mean, you've got tons of guaranteed money, and if your play is not up to par of NFL teams wanting you, I mean, you're set for life anyway.
Yeah, he is set for life. I mean, he doesn't even have to take a snap this season. He's set for life moving forward. I mean, that's $40 million this season is crazy to think about. That's a lot of money.
Well, hey, the Browns put themselves in this situation, and we'll see if he can turn it around, though. Hopes that are not very high. And, again, huge rift between him and the fan base as of right now. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 2, talk some racing with Jen Jensen as your Wednesday Extra Point rolls along here on your Wednesday on The Game.
What a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
This is Elijah Campbell from 107.5 The Game and The Game Network. If you run a diner, bakery, coffee shop, burger joint, pizza spot, or that hidden gem everybody should know about, how would you like to get the word out about your business without spending a dime? Well, we got you. All you have to do is text your name, your business, and your phone number to 803-404-6100, and we'll be in touch. There is no catch. We know times are tough, but we would love to help you out and your business.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
I really didn't know if it had ever happened, but here we are. Lane Kiffin is right. I feel a little dirty saying that, but it's true. Kiffin pointed out yesterday the odd side of players coming back to college is rooted in the unique circumstances of the class of 22, and he's right. It feels like a crisis. It's really not. Regardless, following the Big Ten and SEC's ban on such athletes, there's a good chance more suits get filed, more hours get billed, and another court will get involved. I'm Chris Mann.
Before the season even kicks off, everyone's making predictions. On Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform, you can trade those predictions in a live market. Last week, Buffalo was trading at 8%, meaning a $100 trade would pay out $1,174 if they take home the title. On Kalshi, as the probability changes, you adjust your position. Download the Kalshi app and use code UPDATE to get up to $500 in bonus credits when you trade $25. Kalshi, trade on anything. 18 plus only, must be present in state where it's legal to trade. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. Bonus credits do not expire. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. For more information, see Kalshi.com/regulatory.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like public works supervisor.
Hey, this water main is under a ton of pressure. Did you ever fix it?
Yeah, 3 layers of duct tape. Wait, should I have added a 4th layer?
This is a job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
University of Maryland Global Campus offers more than 50 flexible online certificates that provide short-term credentials and real-world skills you can use immediately. With a range of affordable undergraduate and graduate certificates in high-demand fields like business, AI, cybersecurity, data analytics, and healthcare, you can earn credentials quickly to help advance your career. No application fee if you apply by September 1st. Classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Sound familiar?
At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to $700, plus get a free adjustable base with select Sealy Posturepedic mattresses. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Oh, yeah. The Extra Point with Tyler Head.
And the kick is good.
Call or text 803-404-6100 on the Game Network.
Welcome back in. Closing out hour number 2 of the Extra Point here on your Wednesday on the Game. Time to talk some racing with Jen Jensen as we get ever closer to the start of the Chase making its return in 2 weeks at the Cookout Southern 500 at Darlington. But this past weekend, we got a great race in New Hampshire, delayed a little bit by weather. They finally got rolling, and my goodness, we got treated to maybe one of the better races of the season. Ryan Blaney holds on to pick up yet another win as he and the Fords have a lot of momentum going to the Chase. But I'll say, I was watching this with one of my buddies on Sunday, and that was just a great race from start to finish, really.
I agree. You never are sure how it's going to turn out when you start with, some wet weather tires, like how is everything going to be? And, but I felt like overall the racing was very, very good. Passing people be able to, move from the middle of the pack to the front of the pack, or at least a lot more movement. And I agree. I definitely thought it was one of the better races this year.
There's a sequence, I don't know if you've seen this, that's been kind of getting a lot of runs since then when Josh Berry and Bubba Wallace swapped the lead with about, I think, 60 or 70 laps to go. Berry goes up, kind of gives him the bumper. Wallace comes back, passes him back clean. And just like a really good exchange of the lead that I feel like we haven't seen a lot of on these shorter tracks in the next-gen car. And watching it on Sunday, I was kind of like, man, that looks very familiar. I haven't seen that in a while, and I'm glad I wasn't the only one that picked up on that. And, we obviously have the higher horsepower with these shorter tracks now. The tires were wearing a lot, and maybe that played a factor into it. But it was kind of nice to see maybe a slight little dose of old school short track racing, even in small supply on Sunday.
Oh, I agree. I mean, that's what we enjoy. You don't want to see people going just round and round and round, even though those who follow the sport may get more into strategy and stuff like that. For the casual fan, you're going to lose them if you can't see there's some kind of excitement and multiple lead changes. So I'm with you. I thought it really made for a really good, fun event.
Ryan Blaney overcomes an issue on pit road earlier in the race. His pit crew's been having a lot of trouble this season. Great pit call by Jonathan Hassler to put him out there on 2 tires late. He's able to hold off a faster Bubba Wallace and Josh Berry to pick up the win. He's now pretty much locked up the second spot in points going into the Chase. Denny Hamlin's locked up the regular season, but Ryan Blaney will likely start the Chase only 25 points behind. And again, we talked about it through so much of the early part of the season. Despite Ford not running well, Ryan Blaney was still hanging up there. Quietly putting together good runs, and now he's winning races. And I still think it's Denny's championship to lose at this point, but man, Blaney's going to have something to say about this once the Chase starts.
No, I agree. I mean, he's really been putting it on, and a couple wins now this season. So, and overall, Penske has been kind of quietly improving. So we're seeing that, right now there's 3 of them in the top 15 in the point standings, and I just feel like Logano's game has gotten better. Blaney's just been kind of consistent for the most part. I wouldn't just rule them out. I mean, I know Toyotas tend to do pretty well in postseason, but I think it's going to be I am not counting Blaney out at all.
Well, along with Ford's running well, Josh Berry now puts together his 4th straight top 8 finish by finishing 3rd at Loudon on Sunday. He's out of a ride, doesn't have a job for next year. Jesse Love going to take over the 21 car, and Josh Berry doesn't know what he's doing. I'll tell you this, he's making a darn good audition tape right now for Cup teams, O'Reilly teams, whatever he's going to end up. That guy deserves to be in good equipment, and he's showing you why.
Oh, he absolutely is. And I mean, I think the record was from back in the 90s that somebody from that team was stringing together like 4 consecutive top 10. So, yeah, he's putting things together, and I really hope that he gets picked up because I think he's definitely worthy of it.
Well, we'll see if he can keep that top 8 streak going into Daytona this weekend. Final race of the regular season. We'll get to the cutoff line in just a second, but a huge unknown. We're changing the rules package. We're lowering the spoiler, trying to take some downforce off these cars, lowering the horsepower to kind of match that. I was listening to some of Denny Hamlin's podcast. He thinks it's going to be crazy with these cars being out of control. We don't get practice leading into it. Everybody gets 1 lap of qualifying. They'll be out in the pack together for the first time Saturday night. I don't know what to expect, quite frankly.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think, obviously we're not looking for a demolition derby here. We are looking for some good racing, but there's obviously a method to their madness as to why they want it to be, to make those package changes. But I think it's if people are at all easy for me to say, interested in checking out a race, this might be a good one to watch.
Yeah,
a lot of action.
Chaos could be the name of the game, and look, if you can make the cars harder to drive like we see at Atlanta, which has maybe become the best track on the schedule, that's a thumbs up. And we'll have a good show Saturday night, and we'll just have to wait and see, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that, I guess, makes it just that much more interesting to have it be the last race of the regular season, because that can just really throw the points game into effect. And this is when I'm really happy that we don't have a win and you're in situation. I really like the points better because of this type of race.
Yeah, very different. You have Ryan Preece 31 points behind Shane Van Gisbergen in the last spot. Austin Cindric 44 above the cut line. Really the only 2 guys in danger of falling out. Brett Keselowski 66 below. Technically not out of it, but really the race seems to be between Ryan Preece and Shane Van Gisbergen, and basically the 60 car is going to have to hope that SVG has a bad day, crashes out in stage 1, and the 60's getting stage points and finishing somewhere close to, if not winning the race, to really flip this. And that's kind of the drama we're looking at for the cut line going into the weekend.
Yeah, I agree. And, Preece has been showing some good things, and Shane, has gotten his oval game has continued to improve. He hasn't had just tons of luck at times, but I think overall he could put one together and go ahead and eke out that spot, and that'd be this, which is interesting because then this would be his second year in the chase. So I think, I don't know, if I were Preece, I'd be working really hard.
Yeah, again, he's got to hope for SVG to have a little bit of bad luck, and he's got to put together, and he had a great race on Sunday too, but he's going to have to put together a darn near flawless race at a super speedway, which in general is hard to do, but when you have all these unknowns of changes to the rules package, I don't know what the heck they're going to be able to do about it. So, again, plenty of reason to tune in Saturday night, and then we can finally go off to the Cookout Southern 500 and start the chase.
I know. I'm looking forward to that. Darlington is such a fun place to be, and what a great way to start the chase in and of itself. But got to get through this weekend first.
Can't wait to talk about that coming up next week, and we'll have the official chase field set as well. We'll talk to you then, Jen.
I love it. Thanks so much.
Coming up next, Gamecock Central Takeover Hour as your Wednesday rolls along here on the game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
You're locked into things you can't change. Weather, traffic.
Stay in your lane.
Your carrier's price hikes. Unlock a better way. Switch to Boost Mobile. Keep Keep your phone and get $25 a month forever. No contracts. Get to Boost. Get unlocked. Get going. After 30 GB, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost $25 unlimited plan.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
It's the Hendrick Chevrolet Countdown to Kickoff. 10 days away.
Hendrick.
The most trusted name in automotive is right here in Columbia. Hendrick Chevrolet and Hendrick GMC. Buy now and make no payments for 3 months. Shop the nation's #1 dealer group, Hendrick Chevrolet and Hendrick GMC. With approved credit, see dealer for details.
This is the sound of Claire cooking dinner at home. And that's the sound of a fraud alert from Wells Fargo, flagging a charge for a pricey restaurant in Paris. Considering Claire isn't in Paris right now, that seemed odd to the bank and to Claire. 2 taps later, Claire says nope to the charge, and Wells Fargo is on the case. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Learning to drive, getting married, the birth of your children. These are the life-changing events you remember your whole life. I'm Jason Reynolds. A serious injury changes your life too, in a very different way.
I'm Stephen Samuels. At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we get you. We can't erase the injury or change the past, but we can get you through the pain and anxiety and help you on to a brighter future.
We get South Carolina because we're true South Carolina. Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
Vista Roofing, your local CertainTeed Select Shingle Master. Looking for a roof that's built to last? Trust the certified experts at Vista Roofing for professional installation, top-tier materials, and peace of mind backed by industry-leading warranties. From repairs to full replacements, Vista Roofing delivers durable results and exceptional service. Call now or visit VistaRoofingINC.com to schedule your free estimate. Vista Roofing, raising the standard one shingle at a time. Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass, shepherdsglass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass.
Right now, somewhere in America, a student is training, a student is studying, a student is working when nobody is watching. Not for recognition, not for attention, but because excellence is a habit. The 2026 Patriot Games are searching for exceptional students ages 14 to 17. Students ready to compete, ready to lead, ready to show America what they're capable of. $250,000 scholarship prize pool. Applications are open now. Your story, your opportunity, your moment. Applications now open. Freedom250.org. America's next champion could be you.
Looking for custom apparel and professional printing all in one place? We've got you covered. For 30-plus years, School Cuts has been the Midland's trusted source for screen printing and embroidery. From team uniforms and company shirts to custom apparel, School Cuts delivers quality you can see and wear. And now, School Cuts is part of the Minuteman Press family. School Cuts and Minuteman Press, your one-stop shop for apparel, printing, signs, banners, promotional products, and more. Visit us today at 1415 Gervais Street in Columbia or 518 Wessinger Street, West Columbia.
For the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game, WNKT Eastover, Columbia, a Cumulus media station.
The Gamecock Central Takeover Hour with Wes Mitchell, Chris Clark, and Tyler Head.
To the house!
On 107.5 The Game, The Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at The Game TV Radio on YouTube.
Uh, 11 o'clock on your Wednesday morning. Welcome in. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour here on The Game. Tyler Head, Chris Clark, along with you in studio. Wes Mitchell, not in studio today as he's heading up to Florence for a Gamecock Club meeting. But, Chris, he was not going to let you close the gap without any opposition because he is joining us on the AAA Heating and Air phone lines.
Welcome, Wes. Good move.
Now, you would still have a very, very good chance statistically that I would not make a move because I have a feeling Tyler's got some kind of doozy for us. But
I feel like you're capable of getting this one.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate your faith in me.
No problem.
What is the score at this point, Tyler?
23.5 to 22.
We got a tight one. Tyler, so we don't forget, you do remember the question subject tomorrow?
Yes, I have that written down. Sherrod Golightly will be the question for tomorrow. When we're out at Firehouse Subs, by the way, convenient, Wes, that this Gamecock Club meeting did not fall tomorrow, or you had a real conflict on your hand.
I do have a Gamecock Club meeting to go to tomorrow, but it will be tomorrow night instead.
Perfect.
Okay, good.
So it worked out.
You get to come have some Firehouse Subs and hang out. You know it would have been epic that I didn't think of until now if we could have gotten Sherrod Golightly to come out tomorrow to Firehouse Subs. I think he's back in Georgia.
Okay.
He's from...
Try to say, there could still be time, man.
There is time. Maybe I'll text him. I think
around.
He's from Decatur, I think.
Okay, where it's greater.
Is that their motto?
Yes.
Okay. God. The high school is absolutely escaping me right now. I'll find it later. But I will... You know what? I will text Sherrod.
Like, hey, man.
If you want to
maybe we can get a call in from him, Chris.
Or just a call in.
Yeah, that might be more doable if he's still in Georgia.
Southwest DeKalb High School.
Yeah, okay. That's a very good one.
Okay.
A lot of good talent comes out of there. Yeah, a call in might be more feasible than we're not going to ask him to drive 3 hours to make a
if he wants
spot.
to.
If he wants to. We'll get him some sandwiches. Don't worry.
Like, hey, we're at Firehouse Subs. He's like, I'm there. I want to try the new the chicken cheddar rancher and the honey melts.
It was it a Gamecock Club meeting when somebody made that request to you the other week?
Yes,
you, right?
in Spartanburg.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Sherrod Golightly has a fan club in Spartanburg, South Carolina, apparently.
Heck yeah. Well, I promise that'll be the hot topic of tomorrow's question. Today, it's 10 days till kickoff, the final double-digit day of the countdown. Guys, name and dudes. Who are our 10s?
Well, let's start current roster. Go with my brother, Christian Clark.
The other Chris Clark.
The other one, the better one, George Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Co Simpson, Sky Moore. I mean, there's a
very good one.
Couple good ones right there.
Co Simpson, I believe, is the person Preston claimed to be in the best physical shape he's ever seen.
Really?
Yes. I believe that's who I remember him talking about.
Best physical shape. I had not heard that one.
Either him or Kalimba Edwards. I can't remember which one.
Co Simpson, definitely not sure about the shape. One of the best football players I've ever seen. There is no doubt about it. He's up.
Hey, how about, guys, a shout out for our guy, Brian Maddox?
B. Maddox is a great one. T.L. Hanna alum, Brian Maddox.
Got to represent.
Yes.
Proudly wore the number 10.
He did. He came out to one of our kickoff parties more than once, I think, Wes. He showed up and hung out with us. So, B. Maddox, a great guy. I think he lives in Lexington right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because I met him at the last kickoff party.
Yeah.
That would have been 3 years ago.
A great guy.
So, yeah.
Great guy.
Another number 10.
Remember he jumped over the Auburn dude? That was awesome.
Hey, no, not only jumped over the guy, but kicked him in the face on the way.
Karate kick. That was a great moment.
Well, today's question is about Sky Moore.
Okay.
Very easy to pull some questions from here. Are we ready?
A lot of material.
Ready to go?
I did not do my homework, but I still am here, so I got a shot.
All right. So Sky Moore is tied for first in South Carolina history with total interceptions with 14. He had 3 multi-interception games in his career. Can you tell me who those 3 opponents were?
Goodness gracious. I know one. Wes, do you have this?
I got one. I got one as well.
Probably got the same one, if I had to guess.
Yeah, we've got the same one, man. We've got is the one you're thinking of a season opener?
Yes.
Okay.
Same
Out
page.
of conference?
Yes, correct. We're there.
All right. So we're both there. So really this is going to come down to that I mean, honor system, we're both thinking North Carolina, right?
Yep. North Carolina is absolutely one. He absolutely tormented Marquise Williams in that game,
including the game-sealing pick in the end zone. So really it's going to come down to can either one of us just, fake our way into the other two.
It's going to be a guess. It's going to be a straight guess.
I feel like one of them is a pretty notable game. One of the other two.
A notable individual game because of something that happened, or a notable...
Just a notable game. I'll leave it at that. Not trying to make this too easy.
Will either of you, or Tyler, will you give us a reminder on the exact years that Sky Moore played at the University of South Carolina?
He played 2013 to 17, did not play in 2016.
Mm-hmm. Had to sit out that year with an injury.
That's right. He had the injury. He came back. I was kind of hoping you might give us a little trivia, Tyler, on how many years Sky Moore was South Carolina's leading tackler, and then who stole that from him in his final year when he came back.
Oh.
But you didn't, so I'm just stalling at this point.
It sounds like Wes was very prepared for that specific question.
Just that one, yeah.
It just seemed like something you might ask, to be honest.
Hey, just when you know all the answers, I changed the questions, man.
Yeah, nothing is like, I don't know, man. Nothing is like just popping into my head at all. Like, I feel like there's some obvious here that as soon as it is said,
Oh, yeah.
I feel like as soon as you say it, we're going to be like, oh, yeah, I remember that highlight. But nothing is really just like popping out. So I'm going to go ahead and give a guess, and I'm going to say Florida and Clemson.
Okay. I'm not looking for specific years, by the way.
All right, so North Carolina, Florida, Clemson for...
It's going to be Wes's guess.
Well, yeah.
And I'll go ahead and tell you North Carolina season opener 2015 was one of them.
Yes.
Okay. Yep, so I'll also go UNC. Oh, man. Give me Georgia and see what other random team we're going to throw in here. Give me Vanderbilt.
Okay.
Neither of us got it.
You both got 1 out of 3 correct.
Yikes.
So the other notable game was the 2013, or I guess it would have been January 1, 2014, Capital One Bowl against Wisconsin.
Oh, wow.
2 interceptions in that game.
Wow.
And this is the trickier one. He did have 2 against South Alabama in 2014.
You know what?
Yeah.
Wes, I think
never would have gotten it.
Yeah, I was with you on it's probably going to be obvious. Those are memory hold for me. I got nothing. Like, I do not. Like, the Capital One Bowl, I remember a lot of plays. I don't remember 2 picks.
See, that's why I thought that one might stand out a little bit.
So that was the one you said was the notable game.
That was the notable game. I knew South Alabama would be a little trickier, but
South Alabama was the game that we were talking about Pharaoh Cooper yesterday for that trivia question, throwing a touchdown pass to Dylan Thompson. That was in the South Alabama game.
Yes, it was.
So
can we? Wes,
South Alabama's banned.
I'll say, are we allowed to ask any more South Alabama questions, Wes?
No question.
Yeah, I mean, I was okay with the UAB questions because I got all those right, but
of course you are. South Alabama. Well, there's only been one. I mean, that wasn't a specific fair. Like, you didn't have to name the game yesterday.
Sure.
So we just have one. If we get one more question that South Alabama is the answer, it is also banned.
I have another half-point bonus question relating to another number 10, if you guys are ready for it.
Sure.
So, Ron Bass, of course, played at South Carolina. Of course, Sunshine from Remember the Titans. He wore number 10 here at South Carolina. In the movie Remember the Titans, what number did he wear?
12.
That's correct. Wore number 12.
Let's go.
Half point.
Yes.
He's closed it down to 1, Wes.
Wes just hung up.
The person you were calling has thrown their phone out the car.
His phone's on the interstate now.
You still have a lead, but it's down to 1.
All right, yeah. All right. Because Chris watched Remember the Titans last week. Okay. That's cool.
I didn't watch it last week.
What's wrong with watching Remember the Titans?
No, it's not a South Carolina question, but okay.
Well, it related to a character that was being represented by a eventual South Carolina player. That's why it's a bonus point. This wasn't the main question.
I was thinking about that movie recently.
Cool.
The late Hayden Panettiere was in that. Was in that movie.
Filmed in my hometown, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
That's right.
Yes. Okay. Well, Wes, the good news is, even playing field tomorrow. We know the question is on Sherrod Golightly.
So study
There's no doubt.
everything you can find about Sherrod Golightly tonight and be ready tomorrow.
I've already fired off my text to him. Don't know if he still has the same number. Last time I texted him was a couple years ago.
I was going to ask, when's the last time you actually reached out to him or spoke to him?
Actually, 3 years ago.
Okay.
I've done very bad at keeping up with with Sherrod.
Haven't talked to you in a while. Random question. You want to come hang out at Firehouse Subs on campus tomorrow? It's a thing. I'll explain when you get there.
Come eat some sandwiches with us. Nothing
might
wrong
be
with that
enticing enough. I don't know.
It might be.
Yeah.
So I will effort that. Give it my best effort.
Wes, if you want to take any more requests for the other 8 days we have until kickoff for specific topics of questions, feel free at your Gamecock Club event.
Okay. Yeah, I'll ask my friends here in Florence. I'm about 20 minutes out right now. By the way, so my question I thought Tyler might ask, I'm pretty sure, and Tyler, maybe you're at a computer, maybe you can fact check me.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that Sky went 3 straight years. So freshman, sophomore, junior, leading tackler every single season. But then he missed his senior year because of an injury. And so he redshirted, came back, had that next year. And I don't think he was the leading tackler when he came back, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember if it was the year he sat out or even also his year he played. But I think T.J. Brunson maybe took over as the leading tackler, which kept Sky from basically being able to say, hey, he played 4 years and was the leading tackler for 4 seasons. Although he did turn around and, tie or break the interceptions record?
Tied.
It's tied to the record. I'm showing him as the leading tackler in all 4 years that he played.
Same. 15th player
So
in
he
D1.
had all 4.
Had all 4.
15th player in D1 history to lead his tackles, to lead his team in tackles in 4 seasons.
And in the year...
Who was the leading tackler the year he was out?
DJ Smith.
Oh,
no way. Really?
That's what it says here. 79 total tackles in 2016.
Okay. Because TJ West was a true freshman that year. I mean, he played. But, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sky Moore, man, what a player.
All 4 years.
Yeah.
Monster.
Yeah.
Monster. That even if that's not a trivia question and then I was wrong, that's worth mentioning that to do it 4 years is, I mean, dude, Sky might be he's got to be, even though people know him and mention him and do acknowledge him, maybe one of the more underrated Gamecocks in the last 25 years. If you really look at everything that guy did playing linebacker.
Yeah, and to have that many interceptions at the linebacker spot is not a very common thing.
Well, he looked like a big safety.
Yeah.
6'2", about less than 220. But I remember, there would be moments he would meet Todd Gurley in the hole and a stalemate, or he makes a tackle and you're like, what? Because he's not the biggest linebacker out there, but he just had an absolute nose for the ball.
All right, Wes, enjoy. Study Sherrod Golightly, and we'll see you at Firehouse tomorrow.
All right, boys. See you there. 9 o'clock.
All right, we'll get into what Coach Beam had to say yesterday coming up next. Gamecock Central Takeover Hour on your Wednesday on the Game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
A moment of good feels from your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Rattler crossing route, got it. And that's Jalen Brooks at the 10, the 5. Jalen going for it. Touchdown, Carolina. Touchdown, Jalen Brooks.
Now that's some good feels right there.
Spencer Rattler has done what no other Carolina quarterback has ever done. He's thrown 6 touchdown passes on the night.
From 107.5 The Game and The Game Network. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Like it or not, crime is a reality. Help protect your family with the Byrna Less Lethal Launcher, trusted by hundreds of police departments, government agencies, and security firms. The Byrna launcher has powerful non-lethal deterrence, plus a 60-foot range that can stop an attacker for up to 40 minutes. With over 750,000 units sold to the public, Byrna is legal in all 50 states, requires no background checks or permits, and can be shipped right to your door. Visit Byrna.com today. That's BYRNA.com. Must be 18 plus. Purchase and shipping restrictions vary by state and municipality. Go to Byrna.com to check availability at your location.
At Atkins Law, we believe that if you've been hurt on the job or in a car wreck, recovery should come first. I'm Dewana Looper.
And I'm Joe Whiteman.
We're not just the voices you hear, we're the faces you'll see if you come in.
Accidents can cause a lot of stress and worry. Our team shows up for you during those difficult times by offering thoughtful guidance.
We're small on purpose, local by design, and serve with compassion.
Remember, who you hire matters. Check us out at hollyatkinslaw.com.
Join Lexington Health for the Tunnel to Towers Columbia 5K Run and Walk on Friday, September 4th at 7 p.m. This unforgettable patriotic event champions the heroism of our nation's first responders and service members. Then stick around for the after party featuring live music, family-friendly events, and food trucks. Walk or run to honor our heroes. To register, visit t2trun.org.
Hey guys, Wes Mitchell from Gamecock Central here to make sure your business and property parking lots are kept available from any unwanted cars taking up your spots with Schroeder's Towing. For instance, you're coming in hot to the game studios for your show and you park next door in an unauthorized lot with signage that was provided for free from Schroeder's Towing. Next thing you know, the show is in the books and your car is out of the lot. It really is that simple. That's a true story. Call Schroeder's today and keep those unwanted cars out of your lots. Online at schroederstowing.net.
Just dial pound 250 and use the keyword tow truck.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
Hendrick.
The most trusted name in automotive is right here in Columbia. Hendrick Chevrolet and Hendrick GMC. Car buyers across Columbia keep coming back to Hendrick for a larger selection, better pricing, and an easier buying experience. Plus, buy now and make no payments for 3 months. The nation's #1 dealer group is right here in Columbia. Hendrick Chevrolet and Hendrick GMC. Experience the Hendrick difference. With approved credit, see dealer for details.
This is the sound of Lucy, staying on top of her spending. You see, even though she's buying a new pair of jeans, she knows that it fits within her monthly budget. Because Wells Fargo will send an alert if her balance drops below her set amount. Yep, nothing gets past Lucy, or Wells Fargo for that matter. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Dave's Hot Chicken stands out by doing one thing exceptionally well, serving crave-worthy hand-breaded hot chicken packed with bold flavor. Dave's fresh hand-breaded chicken tenders and sliders packed with bold flavor and 7 spice levels ranging from no spice to the legendary Reaper. Crave-worthy sides including seasoned fries, kale slaw, mac and cheese, and Dave's sauce. Dave's focused menu, generous portions, and energetic atmosphere create a unique experience customers remember. Plus, Dave's Hot Chicken on Divine Street in Columbia and Broad Street in Sumter are locally owned and operated by Built Different Brands. They believe great restaurants should serve both great food and their communities. You'll love everything about the bold personality of Dave's Hot Chicken and their people-first hospitality. Don't miss out on this sweet deal from Dave's Hot Chicken in Columbia and Sumter. Beginning this Friday at 9 a.m., head to 1075thegame.com and click on Sweet Deals to get a $50 gift certificate to Dave's Hot Chicken for just $25. The Gamecock Central Takeover Hour with Wes Mitchell, Chris Clark, and Tyler Head on 107.5 The Game, The Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at The Game TV Radio on YouTube.
Welcome back in. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour. Tyler and Chris with you here on your Wednesday on the game. As we mentioned, Firehouse Subs tomorrow from 9 until 12. Out at USC's campus at 633 Main Street. Looking forward to seeing a lot of you out there and getting to enjoy some delicious Firehouse Subs or hanging out and talk some Gamecock football. Only 9 days away from kickoff tomorrow, as we'll talk about Sherrod Golightly with the trivia question. But yesterday, as he does each and every Tuesday during the season, Coach Beamer spoke. And, of course, the topic at the top of everybody's mind right now in college football is players returning to college football from the class of 2022. One of those, of course, being Ethan Johnson, the former Appalachian State cornerback that is now part of South Carolina's team. Coach Beamer talked about the role that Ethan Johnson is expected to play.
We wouldn't have brought him in if we didn't feel like he had a chance to make an immediate impact, Jack, and we do. Now, it's not easy. Don't get me wrong. He hasn't played since November, December, whenever their last game was. So that was my question. It was, okay, what's he been doing since then? Like, we don't need some guy that's been, sitting at the house since January. He's got to get in shape and all that. He's been staying active and staying busy. That really helped because he has played so much football that Clayton and Torian got him, like I said, he was here on Saturday, and on Saturday afternoon after the scrimmage, Clayton and Torian were able to sit down with him and, okay, what did you guys call this in your system? Okay, we call it this. What did y'all call man free? We call it this here. What do y'all call 3-week buzz? Okay, here we call it this. And just trying to get the terminology part of it figured out. But, early signs are positive. And the thing with Ethan is he brings experience because we've got two corners in Judge and Vicari that are competing at a high level, right now, and playing at a high level, I should say. And then we've got some guys behind them that are good players but are unproven, young, whatever you want to call it. So to be able to add just an older guy in there that can help on defense, help on special teams. He may play 0 plays against Kent State. He may play 50 plays against Kent State. I don't really know. We've got to acclimate him quickly and see where he is. But the fact that he's an older guy and he's played a lot of football is an advantage for him because he understands football.
Chris, this is such a fascinating situation that, again, is very rare that you're adding somebody to the roster, right at 2 weeks before the season starts. As Beamer mentioned, he hasn't played actual football since the end of the season last year when I think App State and Georgia Southern played in, was it like the Montgomery Bowl or something? I think they played against each other sometime in December. Either way, that was the last time he put on, a shoulder pad and helmet and went out there on the field. But imagine he's been doing some things to stay in shape. But there's a difference between working out and exercising and actually playing and practicing football. So while he does have a lot of experience, he may not necessarily be in the shape to go out there and take the field right away. How this develops over the season as he gets acclimated into this program, gets into shape, is going to be fascinating to see when and how much they decide to use him.
Yeah, I mean, to go back to what Beamer said, you bring in a guy like this, there a lot of things had to happen in order for this corresponding move to actually take place. And the first thing was, identifying the need. It used to be, even last year, if you're sitting there in preseason camp going, we're really not sure about the third corner spot. We have a lot of youth. We went through it the other day. You've got DeMarcus Leach as a sophomore, played some, including in game 1 last year as a freshman, at a spot he'd never played, but nonetheless played. You got Kossie Barnes, another true freshman. Jalewis Solomon has been, I would say, not as consistent, has battled some injuries. You got Tristan Lewis, KJ Johnson, right? You got a lot of youth guys that you've played at corner. The last two I mentioned have never taken a snap. And so it used to be in preseason camp, if that happened, you just kind of grin and bear it. And you say, all right, we're just going to have to keep figuring this thing out. Well, now, you have this mechanism where if there's nobody that was still in the portal as a leftover, so to speak, you had this court case, it's TRO, where all of a sudden here's a pretty small, right, but a group of players that you could pick from. If it fit a need. And in Ethan Johnson, you've got a guy who played at Huff High School in Charlotte, played a lot of football at App. This is a guy that played, I counted up, I think like 3,000 snaps at App State. And by all accounts, is a sharp kid. And so you feel like, all right, we've got a need. Here's a guy we can plug in. We can ask some trusted people about him and whether or not he, can he play at this level, et cetera. And if you feel good about that, then you can bring him in, even though it's camp, even though practice 1, everybody else is in pads, he's still got to go through the NCAA mandated acclimation period.
Yep.
And so that puts you a little bit more behind, but a sharp enough kid with enough experience and maturity that you feel like he's going to be able to pick those things up pretty quickly. But that said, even for him, is there still a learning curve? Yeah, you're playing in a defense that you've never played in before. And
playing up a level.
And so I think what Beamer said made a lot of sense. If you're trying to figure out, okay, what should expectations be? Ultimately, it would not be a surprise if he's, your third corner this year. But is that the case game one? I don't know. That might not be reasonable to think. Is he someone that gets in there a little bit, plays some special teams? I mean, there's a learning curve. As much time as South Carolina spends on special teams, that's not jump right in either. So for game one, you might have to keep the expectations low, but depends on how fast he acclimates physically and mentally in the scheme. And then I think this is a very low risk, potentially high reward situation where you're bringing in a guy because of the state of college football. You can take advantage of that and plug in someone who can help you with a question mark from a depth standpoint.
And, Bill and I were talking about this yesterday, and Beamer didn't detail exactly how this went down, but it's not unrealistic to think that a Torian Gray could be looking around his room and be like, okay, I like what I got, but it wouldn't hurt to have more depth here, more experience here. And when you look out and see that there's a guy like him and Ethan Johnson that's available, hey, coach, can we go after this guy and bring him in just to bolster this room a little bit more? Okay, sure. Now, again, we'll see what happens with, the fallout of these TROs, and I believe the court case is next week on the 31st that's going to kind of decide this. Now, he's not affected by this rule that we'll get to in a moment that the SEC's implemented about former NFL players because he was never on an NFL roster, but still up in the air on what exactly the future is with him and if he's going to be eligible for the full season or not. But for the time being, you treat it like he's going to be here. You treat it like he's going to be a part of your roster the entire year and hope for the best.
Yeah, I think that's certainly the case. I think the third corner question, and we should just generalize it, like depth at corner, I think has been a question since the spring. You go into spring, it's a new year, and you allow time, spring, summer, the start of preseason camp, to figure out what you got. It could be that you got up to this point in preseason camp and feel great about what you have. But that's not the case. And that doesn't mean, by the way, that all those guys that we still mentioned can continue getting better and come along and eventually be good players here. Maybe one of those guys that we mentioned beats out Ethan Johnson and ends up being the third corner. You can't rule that out. But to add some competition to a room that is pretty clear, you still have some questions about that depth, makes total sense. And so I think one thing we've seen all offseason for South Carolina is just an aggressiveness in trying to go out, and that doesn't mean all the moves will work, right?
Right.
But this has been one of I think the most aggressive offseason we've seen in a long time. There are 5 new coaches. 3 of them were moves that Beamer made, running back, offensive line, offensive coordinator. Very aggressive in NIL retention, very aggressive in terms of going out in the portal and acquiring talent. And then we even seen some late gets in the portal. April, May, brought in a couple additional guys. Preseason camp, here's this rule that opens up, the possibility to take a guy like Ethan Johnson. We got a deficiency, we think. Let's go out and see if we can try to plug it. So a lot of aggressiveness this offseason and just seeing a problem and trying to fix it.
Well, it's not a rule that affects Ethan Johnson because he was never on an NFL roster, but the SEC and other conferences cracking down on NFL players returning to college football. I'll tell you about that coming up next. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour on your Wednesday on The Game.
Wow, what a play! The Game Network, Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach. It's 2026 SEC Media Days.
And The Game was there all week.
It's just a matter of starting over. I built these relationships, got to know these guys, these coaches and all that. There's no need for me to go somewhere else that's not home for me.
On the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
All right, everyone, let's tell you about our friends over at Integrated Media. The college football season is inching ever closer, just 10 days away. And so if you've been sitting around thinking, man, I would really like to upgrade my college football viewing experience around my home, whether it's in your living room, the man cave you've always wanted, your current man cave, your outdoor space, your patio. If you want some new equipment to make sure that you have the very best for that viewing experience, hit up our friends at Integrated Media. New television, wireless speakers, making sure that your internet's running in tip-top shape for streaming. Even if you need recommendations on, hey, I want to make sure I have access to everything, what provider should I use for my cable or streaming, they can advise you on all that. They're a true one-stop shop. They can help you source the equipment, advise you. They can professionally install it, and you're going to be super happy, just like Wes and myself are with their service. 803-948-8327, integratedmediainc.com.
Hey guys, it's Jay Phillips for AAA Heating and Air. You know, every homeowner's dream is a house that cleans itself, right? Well, we might not be able to do that, but what if you could clean your air without lifting a finger, even when you're sleeping? AAA Heating and Air offers indoor air quality products that do just that. These products work with your HVAC system to improve your home's air quality. Cleaning the air eliminates common household odors, removes allergens and pollutants, and can even improve sleep and reduce the spread of some viruses. And remember, at AAA Heating and Air, home comfort is their top priority. Call today to schedule a seasonal maintenance appointment. Let AAA Heating and Air's qualified technicians put your mind at ease with a thorough inspection and cleaning of your heating and cooling system. Join their popular AAA Comfort Club to take advantage of extras like flexible visits, added discounts, and priority scheduling. Let AAA Heating and Air take your comfort to the next level. Call 803-677-1500 and schedule today.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
I'm Jason Reynolds. You may wonder if you're better off hiring a big corporate law firm with hundreds of lawyers, or should you go local?
I'm Stephen Samuels. With the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, you get me, or Jason, or Micah. You have your own lawyer who can go toe-to-toe with anybody from big law to big insurance.
Here's how you know. Call 803-779-4000. You won't get a robot. You'll get one of our wonderful people taking your call. Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers.
At Herndon Chevrolet, there's no need to wait a week for service. Our full team of technicians is ready to get your vehicle checked the same day. From oil changes to major repairs, we're here to keep you moving with expert care you can count on every time. Fast appointments, trusted repairs, convenient service, and a friendly team ready to help you. Only at Herndon Chevrolet.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Gamecock Central Takeover Hour with Wes Mitchell, Chris Clark, and Tyler Head on 107.5 The Game, The Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at The Game TV radio on YouTube.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Welcome back in. Gamecock Central Takeover Hour. Tyler and Chris along with you here on your Wednesday on the game. Because Wes isn't here, we can actually talk about litigation and break his rule. Because, well, unfortunately, at least until we get a game start being played coming up this weekend, we still got to talk about things happening off the field. And, of course, the biggest drama in college football this week is NFL players attempting to return to the college game, specifically those at LSU, which Quan Wright, the former Browns tight end, who cleared waivers and is in the transfer portal attempting to get into Baton Rouge, and then Xavier Harris, the defensive lineman from Ole Miss last year that got cut by the Saints earlier on this offseason as well. Yesterday is when things really started rolling because first the Big Ten, then the SEC put out their definitive statements and rules against this with punishments in place as well to prevent schools, namely LSU, from going through with this.
Yeah, I know not everybody will agree with me. I certainly think that a lot of the things happening in college football are a mess. Also think that, like, I'm not one of those people that says, I only think players should be able to transfer one time. If that's your purview, totally fine. I'm not one of those. But, man, when you are starting to pull players from the NFL, like when we're sitting here looking at a guy, this guy's running routes for the Cleveland Browns in practice before a game.
Last Saturday.
And he's in the transfer portal.
Yeah, over the weekend.
It's too much. Like, something's got to change. And every time I go to, like, Wes is at a Gamecock Club meeting, right? So I'm sure this will come up. It's come up. I've done 3 of them this year, interacting with fans on social media or on Gamecock Central or on our shows. It always comes up, well, you know, they really got to put in some rules. They ought to do this. They should do that. Yes, we all agree they need rules. The problem is we have not been able to figure out, by we just meaning just college football, have not been able to figure out what that structure looks like. There's not agreement. There's different stakeholders. There's different sides. And until that happens, this is basically what we get. Now, this may be this is like the most extreme example that we've had, right?
Sure.
Players getting paid and getting paid a lot. Okay. Transferring, you know, the on-3 graphics where, TJ Finley's on his 27th school now or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, those are kind of crazy, right, at times. But pulling pro players, active pro players, back into college is insanity. And so we may finally have a workaround for that one specific thing, and that is the SEC and the Big Ten saying, you know what, you can sue and you can become eligible, but hey, member school, if you play this guy, Big Ten, for example, you're getting suspended. Your head coach is getting suspended for 50% of games, and we're going to fine you. Greg Sankey says basically, yeah, I'll figure out what your punishment's going to be, and good luck trying to get around it. And that is actually something that could potentially work.
Sure. It's also, and real quick before we get in those specifics, you remember we talked to Mitt Winter last week as this stuff was kind of starting to bubble and we knew over the weekend it was going to kind of come to a head. And he threw out the thing out there about, you know, some people believe the NCAA is maybe doing this on purpose to exaggerate how ridiculous things have gotten to maybe push forward things like the Protect College Sports Act. And he said he didn't believe it, but like when you see how ridiculous it has become, I can see the merit between people that want to believe, like, yeah, maybe the NCAA is self-sabotaging at this point to try and make things actually happen and get somewhere.
Well, yeah, I mean, every couple weeks there's something that's just crazier and crazier, and I don't know. I mean, we've kind of jumped the shark. I can't really think of anything more extreme than this.
There's probably something that when it happens, you'd be like, oh, yeah, I didn't see that one coming.
I didn't think of that. You know, because I'll be honest, and when the NIL era came about, I did have an inkling that, you know, players would start getting paid lots of money and agents would get involved. Like, you could see all that.
Yeah.
I did not imagine that we would be in a spot where we're looking at the on-3 graphic with a Cleveland Browns to LSU transfer happening. Did not think that would happen.
You know the meme of the guy that's got the thing stacked together? It's like dominoes that are about to fall, and it starts out with the smallest one, has the biggest one, and it's like, you know, the first one would be like the NCAA creates the term student athlete back in 1955 to avoid, I think, having to pay in a lawsuit of a player that had died to his family or something. And then it's like the very end, it's Daquan Wright leaving the Cleveland Browns to go back to LSU or something like that. And this whole domino effect of everything. Because you're right, when NIL went live in the summer of 21, I was one of those people like on the side of the players, like, hey, you're finally able to profit off your name, image, and likeness for being a celebrity athlete. And hey, if the car dealership wants to pay the quarterback $100,000 to do commercials, they can do that. And I thought that's great. Pretty soon after that, they figured out, hey, you know, we can just create collectives and start paying these guys to come to school. And that's when things really started getting out of hand. And obviously it's changed. We've got rev sharing now, but there's still NIL. And it's just gotten to a point that none of us ever expected. I don't know if it ever gets reined in. We keep talking about the next thing that's going to happen and, litigation and all that, things in Congress. Until it really happens, I'm not going to believe it. But I hope there's a solution somewhere on the horizon in the future.
Well, and I mentioned, the SEC and the Big Ten, and it looks like other power conferences are going to join in trying to ban this. I think their hope is that schools just don't do it and that it kind of goes away or at the minimum is not widespread. Chris Lowe of On3, I think, was the one that reported yesterday that all of the SEC schools except for one were against this notion. One was for, and one was undecided. Now, the one for, I would assume, is LSU because they've been actively signing up players if they want to come. I don't know who the other one is.
One that was considering it.
Now, the thing is, are the SEC presidents saying we're against it, and then their coaches are sitting there going, I don't know, I'd take a player from the pros if you want to give me one. The reason I said this might work is it does seem like a good solution for the conferences to stop this by saying, we're not stopping the kid, we're stopping the schools from doing it. Now, the thing to keep in mind, every single thing that happens nowadays, your first question always has to be, what is the corresponding legal action or lawsuit that's going to take place?
Right.
And Darren Heitner, NIL attorney, does a lot of work on behalf of athletes in these lawsuits.
Worked on Faison for his eligibility.
Worked on Faison. He pointed out, it's a good point, well, if a court who's granted a TRO, it's not just the NCAA, it's basically anybody who acts in concert, participates with. And so if a court could say, actually, SEC, you can't do that, then what happens?
Yeah.
Hey, you can't stop that athlete.
Because state law basically trumps conference law.
It does. Now, what does that all mean? Because a school could just then, all the member schools could just say, yeah, we're not touching that, and then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot of questions with this, but I think this is one instance where before the train gets really down the tracks of everybody saying, college football is a very trend-driven copycat business. Before everybody starts saying, yep, we're going to start signing up, NFL players, guys that got cut. We're going to, apparently LSU has been reported actively colluding to get guys cut so that they could sign them.
Yeah.
And their agents being fine with it and the players being fine with it. Yeah, I'm probably not going to make the team. Go ahead and cut me. Let me go back to school, get some more NIL. Before that starts really happening, they're trying to get out in front of it. So we'll see what happens.
What did Coach Beamer say about this situation? We'll let you hear that coming up next as we wrap up the hour. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour here on your Wednesday on The Game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
Hey, this is Preston here from 107.5 The Game and The Game Network. If you run a diner, bakery, coffee shop, burger joint, pizza spot, or that hidden gym that everybody should know about, how would you like to get the word out about your business without spending a dime? Well, we got you. All you have to do is text your name, your business, your phone number to 803-404-6100, and we'll be in touch. There is no catch. Times are tough, but we're here to help you and your business.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
The 30-game sprint to the regular season finish line is going to be a wild one atop the National League pennant race. A walk-off throwing error doomed the Brewers and extras last night, while Ozzie Albies and the Braves ended the Dodgers' 6-game winning streak, which means all three teams are now within 4 games of each other for the top 2 spots in the NL, and a bye to the division series on the line, with just 4.5 weeks until we get to October. I'm Chris Mann.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you know Skechers makes high-performance footwear for almost every sport you play? Here's what our athletes are saying.
Hi, I'm pro basketball player OG Anunoby. I dominate in Skechers basketball. Skechers delivers championship-level performance.
I'm WNBA star Jackie Young. Skechers keeps me quick, comfortable, and ready for anything.
And you can get high-performance Skechers and hands-free slip-ins technology. Just step in and perform.
I'm pro golfer Matt Fitzpatrick. I play in hands-free Skechers golf slip-ins.
Find yours at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or whatever high-performance sports shoes are sold.
Surprise. Wait, do I know you? You use your Discover cashback card to earn 5% cashback on restaurants all quarter. Yeah. Now, it's payback time.
Whoa, hold on.
Go ahead.
Oh, you mean my Discover cashback.
I told you there'd be payback.
You know, you have a weird way of delivering good news.
I'm working on that.
Activate and earn 5% cash back at different categories each quarter on up to $1,500 in purchases.
Terms apply. See discover.com/5 for details.
I have a dare for you. After you use your old mop and bucket, put on your whitest socks and walk across the floor. Now look down. What's that gray stuff on your socks? I used to have that too, until I switched to Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop breaks down and locks away tough messes. Take the dare. Try Swiffer Power Mop. White sock approved.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Surprise.
Wait, do I know you?
You use your Discover cashback card to earn 5% cashback on restaurants all quarter.
Yeah.
Now, it's payback time.
Whoa, hold on.
Go ahead.
Oh, you mean my Discover cashback.
I told you there'd be payback.
You know, you have a weird way of delivering good news.
I'm working on that.
Activate and earn 5% cash back at different categories each quarter on up to $1,500 in purchases.
Terms apply. See discover.com/5 for details.
Swiffer Power Mop.
I have a dare for you. After you use your old mop and bucket, put on your whitest socks and walk across the floor. Now look down. What's that gray stuff on your socks? I used to have that too, until I switched to Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop breaks down and locks away tough messes. Take the dare. Try Swiffer Power Mop. White sock approved.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
The Gamecock Central Takeover Hour with Wes Mitchell, Chris Clark, and Tyler Henn on 107.5 The Game, The Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at The Game TV Radio on YouTube.
Welcome back in, Gamecock Central Takeover Hour. Tyler and Chris wrapping things up here on your Wednesday on The Game, talking about the newest rule changes in the SEC and the Big Ten as a cracking down on teams trying to add players that were on NFL rosters as part of the class of 2022 TRO. Coach Beamer was asked about this yesterday at his presser, and here is what he had to say.
Yeah, I think that's a tough situation when you've got a guy that's been on an NFL team and then comes back and is playing college football after he's been playing professionally. I don't think that that's a road that anyone wants to go down. We're taking the guidance of the SEC, the presidents, the athletic directors, certainly taking their guidance, and I see what's going on out there. I also realize, Jordan, at this point it's a one-time situation about guys that have a fifth year in college that didn't use it. So I don't envision this being a thing next year. We're signing people off the Jaguars in August. This is a one-time thing, but in this one it's always doing what's best for the football program as we follow the guidance of the leadership that we have in this league and at this university.
That part at the very end there said doing what's best for the football program, and it's very easy for people to pile on Lane Kiffin because, let's face it, it's been a wild offseason for him, to say the least, with headlines pretty much every single week. I completely understood what he was trying to do with bringing in Daquan Wright and Xavier Harris when there was no rule against it, right? Hey, as he said the other day when he spoke to the media, if these guys are available to come back to college, if I don't recruit them, somebody else is, right? So I'm trying to gain an advantage to help my team out win games. Now, of course, there's a rule against this and repercussions if you do this. So if you continue to go down this path, that's a different story. But up until a rule is made, I didn't have a problem with Lane Kiffin doing what he was doing because he was trying to gain an advantage before somebody else did. But now is when you got to step back and say, okay, rule against this. I tried, Didn't end up working. Now I got to go back to doing what I was doing.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that there's been a whole lot of this in college football where coaches will say, I don't really like this, but we're going to do it. I haven't heard of any college football coach who is like, man, I think it is absolutely incredible that we're paying players all this money. I don't think anybody loves it from that standpoint. There's levels to, hey, I hate it. We're dealing with it because it's necessary. There's some that are more, I don't mind it as much. Sure, they've earned it. They should get it. I don't know of anybody that absolutely just loves it. The idea of it. We've seen with the NFL part of this, you've got Dan Lanning from Oregon who basically said, he made it sound like, no, they're not doing it. He doesn't like it. He doesn't think it should be done.
Yeah.
You've got what Lane has done and said, where it's not even and this has always been kind of his MO, he may not even like something, but he's going to do it. If it's doable, he's going to try to do it.
Sure.
And then you've got Ryan Day, or maybe similar to what Beamer just said there, Ryan Day from Ohio State. Hey, I don't really like it. Don't love it. We'll look at it.
If it
we'll
became a thing, you would have to do it because everybody else is.
Well, it'd be like with NIL if, I know everybody else is paying players. We're not really going to do that. Who's going to do that?
I was going to say, good luck standing that ground when you're going 2-10 and getting fired, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you don't do NIL, you're 0-12. You're probably not even. So it's, but it's an interesting time just because of how all this lined up. And you mentioned the conversation we had with Mitt Winter last week, or a few days ago, and a lot of this could have been avoided maybe, if everybody had been granted the blanket, hey, you're going to go ahead and get a fifth year,
Sure.
Not just, hey, if you're still on a roster and you're in the 2022 class, you're going to go ahead and be able to get this. But the guys who had already finished up their eligibility, their argument was, wait a minute, all these guys in the future are getting it. Why am I not? I just finished up. That is what could have potentially avoided this. And I feel like every time that a rule is made, there's always well, surely that's not going to happen. I don't know if anybody envisioned, hey, watch out. If we don't include this particular group, Lane Kiffin and the other coaches are just going to start pulling everybody off NFL rosters. They probably didn't envision that. But there's one thing we know from college football. If there's any gray area or loophole, it will be exploited to the absolute max.
Yeah. It is funny, though, for how divisive things just in general are in America and in sports as well. This is one thing that everybody kind of universally agrees on. Guys going from NFL practice squads or preseason rosters to college, that's a no. Let's not do that, right? Conferences coming out against it. Sean McVay spoke out against it when he was asked about the other day. He said, I feel like I just took a freaking gummy, man. What's going on? This is something that has united everybody saying, okay, now we've officially jumped the shark. Let's rein this back in.
Yes. And again, would we all love some structure just for the simple fact of you don't have to pull up social media or On3 or Gamecock Central or listen to the show and just hear, hey, here's this other crazy thing that happened. People want a little bit of stability. Now, it has not affected the product and the watching of the product. We know that, if anything, all that has gone up. But people are still frustrated by it. I think they're fascinated by it in some ways. It's like watching think about some of the things that are watched a lot in this country, and it's just disastrous messes on television, but people gravitate towards it, and I think that's one reason why people read about this stuff so much.
On3's Wilson Alexander, by the way, just put out the SEC rule, going to be very similar to the Big Ten, where a coach will be suspended for half the contest and will be hit with a hefty fine. So basically the same rule that the Big Ten came out with yesterday.
So let's see who decides to say, you know what, SEC, you're sued too. But guess what? In my opinion, and I'm not an attorney, not a legal expert, at that point, the schools individually could just say, We're not going to mess with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ball's in your court if you want to try it, but now we know the outline and details of what the penalties are going to be. We'll be at Firehouse Subs tomorrow from 9 until noon, 633 Main Street on USC's campus. Come by, hang out with us, enjoy some subs, and let's talk some football. Halftime show up next on your Wednesday here on The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
All right, let's tell you about our friends over at Firehouse Subs. As Tyler just said, we will be out at the USC Main Street, 633 Main Street, on-campus location of Firehouse Subs tomorrow. Come see us. Be out there 9 to noon. Store will open about 10. Come check out a delicious Firehouse sub or two, or an entire pack for your family, and hang out with us. Maybe we'll have some giveaways. Who knows? The new Smokin' Honey Melt, flame-seared shaved steak or grilled chicken breast, combined with the duo of red and green peppers, caramelized onions, melted provolone, chipotle honey dressing, and mayo, all on a toasted sub roll, packed with protein and drizzled with the new honey chipotle sauce. I can't wait to give it a try out there tomorrow. Come check us out. If you're hungry right now, firehousesubs.com or the Firehouse Subs app. Find your go-to sub. Start earning from sub 1 on the Firehouse Rewards program. Members can earn points, redeem rewards, and get exclusive deals like birthday rewards and more. Firehouse Subs app. Check them out.
Looking for a place where your whole family can grow, get fit, and build lasting friendships? The YMCA of Sumter has something for every age and skill level. From state-of-the-art fitness equipment and group exercise to youth sports, or our premier gymnastics center, which offers competitive USAG programs, sensory-aware adaptive classes,